been to
movement
Mardi.
right forward. When I realized it, I was like, wait a minute, I could do the escape from Mardi Gras. Hell yeah, baby.
Like,
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to It Is Idiots. We're the idiots because I just had to cut Bruce off because that was too perfect of a line not
oh
to
yeah,
go
oh yeah, oh yeah.
Mardi Gras.
Mardi Gras, baby.
I just realized with Mardi Gras, I never been to because they do the week. It's Mardi Gras weekends, right? It's every weekend that they have the Mardi.
It's like every night.
Okay, I'm trying because there was
the event. It may be just weekends. I thought it was almost. It's included. Unlike this is the most. I hate to say. Of course, I'm going to say this is the most horror nights Mardi Gras ever been. Meaning there's food stands all over the place, and it's all included with your general admission. The app charges if you want to ride on one of the floats, which I don't need to.
I remember there was one time that we were down for Universal, but we were actually down there for a different reason. She was auditioning for, I think, Animal Kingdom or something like that. Liz was auditioning for Animal Kingdom. So we were only doing like a couple of days on there just for her to the audition. So we found a cheap hotel outside of Universal, and we went. It was like the year that Hogwarts opened. And I want to say Mardi Gras was either during the Mardi Gras festivities or it was leading up to it, because I remember there was
You're
decorations.
thinking of the concerts. The concerts are select nights.
That's what I was thinking of. So we didn't do Universal Studios because Diagon Alley wasn't open at the time. We just did Hogsmeade because we just wanted to do, but maybe we did have a one-day park opera. I don't really remember. It wasn't as big as what it is today with the food trucks and everything. So like the last time I remember the Mardi Gras festivity decorations and the performances. I remember City Walk was
even
like
last year was not that. Even last year paled the comparison. Yeah, they started the tribute stores, even though the tribute store was there. But this is the first year they have gone full tilt because they realized, wait a minute, there's money to be had here. They have the Horror Nights cup holders. They have two sizes of the Blinky cups, the souvenir cups, the reusables. They have a small size and a big size. Everything's got a drink. Everything's got all the food in different countries. I'm excited. I am happy to report back.
And I love Universal is stepping up their A game with the festivals because, for the longest time, Epcot, Disney held the throne for festivals.
It's a good
and then Swan and Dolphin had their private one, their separate one from, and then SeaWorld had theirs, and Busch Garden has theirs, and now Universal's like, we got to step it up and get up with the competition.
They have the adult ones.
Mm-hmm.
They have a drone show coming. And while we're talking on that, I have some good news, people. Permits are filed. Permits are being filed. Work is done. Right now, we only have a B79, which is one of the parade buildings that I know of for sure. But permits are being filed, so they're full steam on the Horror Nights engine.
That's
lot of rumors out there. Might be a really big HBO show that was supposed to come out last year. Very much.
Oh, we can finally talk about it because I am officially caught up with this show. And oh my god!
Still on the rumor list. There were two houses that were on the list last year that were chopped. They were legitimately going to happen only because both projects were delayed a year. So there's not confirmed. There's a good chance of The Last of Us and a little horror movie called Evil Dead Rise that might be making.
I can't wait. And Scream 6. I mean, come on, let's give it up for Scream 6.
Don't do that. Don't give me. I hate to be Hawkeye here, but don't do that. Don't give me hope. However, Scream 6, we're like a month away. I'm so excited for this movie.
I know. I can't. It's crazy. Scream 6 is that horror film that just sneaks up on you because you're like, oh wait, it's Valentine's Day. Like. Yeah, they always release a horror film around Valentine's, and because Scream just feels like one of those, like, it's always been like a summer slasher. It's always had that nostalgia, and then now they're just dropping this like, oh wait, that's another Scream's coming out, and oh yeah, oh my god, it comes out in 2 weeks. Yeah, I'm excited.
March 10th,
but can you imagine the Scream be a mega house for all 6 Scream films?
Just stop.
I mean,
not happening.
I mean, if I was someone to walk into that Universal office and be like, I got an idea.
It did not happen. That estate is a mess. Just like a certain two other horror franchises that were a mess that are finally solved. You know, we have Hellraiser films, but also since before we get into our Disney stuff, since we're on the topic anyway, the lawsuit has been settled.
Oh, really?
The lawsuit settled. There are 2 projects in the pipeline immediately.
Yes.
So Friday the 13th is once again free.
So the TV is the TV series happening?
I think I heard TV series in the movie. That's the rumor right now is TV series. But then again, I've also heard a rumor that Robert Englund, who swore he wasn't putting the glove on, was putting the glove on one more time. I don't think that's real. I take that with a whole shaker of salt.
Oh, you know, it'd be really cool. I mean, if this is a stretch, but what if it's like Freddy Krueger trying to pass on the torch to his like protege or something like that? Like kind of revamp Nightmare on Elm Street 2, but in a good way, and not make it that ridiculous film.
Or we just do a redo of Dream Warriors and not call it Dream Warriors and make
everybody
just same concept, new people, and everyone's happy.
No. I got an idea. Bring back Johnny Depp. Somehow bring back Johnny Depp from the first film.
No. How can you bring him back?
I don't know.
One of the most iconic deaths in horror movie history.
Something about like all of the people that he died don't actually die in his dreams. Like they die in real life, but in his dreams they're still alive, and they all like take him down.
You can bring him back as a cameo, but no, please, no, do not involve him in this project. I am not with him.
Or
new line, I am not with him.
Or do something like in memory of Wes Craven, do something like a New Nightmare again, except with having. Oh my God, I'm throwing a blank. I'm horrible. Who was Nancy? Instead of having Nancy, right?
Are you talking about Nancy? Because
yeah, I had to think for a minute. I'm like, wait a minute, because they used the same name in Stranger Things. What was the reference? And I was like, Nancy. That was the Nightmare on Elm Street reference for Stranger Things. So anyway, yeah, instead of having Nancy, why don't they actually have Johnny Depp play his character, kind of like what they did in New Nightmare?
No.
Just as even as a cameo?
Cameo's fine. I don't want that man anywhere near this movie. I want it to be watchable and entertaining. There, I said it.
But yeah, give me Crystal Lake. The concept of that show, I'm like, if it's anything like Chucky, I'm like, oh my God, Crystal Lake would be the new show.
I have finally purchased Chucky season 2 because you can only watch it. Chucky, believe it or not, for our horror fans out there, we will get to Disney in a minute. I do promise, but Chucky is a driving force for TV and cable sales. That's why you cannot find it streaming. For any of you who are looking for Chucky season 2, it's only available for purchase. You cannot find it for streaming for free because apparently it's a big driving force behind TV. I mean, if you would have told me when I was 5 that I'd be sitting here and not just talking about Chucky, but looking forward to watching the show. And also any Bride of Chucky fans, Cavity Colors on Valentine's Day is dropping an exclusive, just on Valentine's Day, a Bride of Chucky set that looks incredible.
Fancy. I'll take it. I like Chucky shit.
Yeah. So on to Disney.
We got Disney stuff to talk about. Okay, guys,
right in.
Pick something. We got stuff to talk about.
Spin the wheel, make a deal. Layoffs.
That's a good one to start with.
They're firing people.
Bye-bye.
people.
Yeah, Bye-bye said, now this is company-wide. Remember, this is a very large company, not just the theme park division, but it's just company-wide. They're laying off 7,000 people because there's a savings they want to make.
That's just JPEG's assistants.
Oh my God, that has to be it. Anyone in that department, basically, yeah, that's what it is. The layoffs, we shouldn't be worrying about this, folks. The layoffs are pretty much going to be anyone that was part of JPEG's regime. Chapek's coup to take over the company.
Tomorrow's got a list.
Yeah.
Oh, he's got a list.
Yeah, that's what that meeting was about, boys and girls. That whole meeting, it was all a facade that Bob Iger was really eyeing the idea of Beyond Big Thunder Mountain, but really it was all about, okay, give me the names and the people that wanted to hurt you, and I will make sure they go bye-bye.
So, since you brought that up, we'll roll right into that. I love the idea, and this has been out there, of going beyond Big Thunder and having other lands behind there. I will say this: I'm not a fan of the movie Coco. I think it would look good, but since they also announced Coco's having a stage adaptation coming,
that doesn't surprise me. Let me ask you this: your honest opinion, is it too much?
No.
For one land?
No.
To have Coco, Encanto, Moana. No, that wasn't Moana.
Villains.
Moana was that Villains. Okay, I thought Moana was in there. It was just those three. Okay, I thought there was
because the way they're expanding in the back, I do like what I like about this is I like that they're basically not announcing that they've been idiots for so long and they finally saw the light, but they've been idiots for so long and finally saw the light. That they're realizing we need to add a lot to the parks, not just Tron. Not just Guardians. They need to add space for people to go.
Let me ask you something here. So now that with Tiana's Bayou Adventure, in location to where, here's Splash Mountain, the former Splash Mountain, now Tiana's Bayou Adventure, here's Big Thunder Mountain. Who's to say that Beyond Big Thunder is not here? So then you actually have all the IPs in one little land. You have Tiana, you have like Princess and the Frog, Encanto, Coco, and then you have all the Disney villains.
Tiana, Coco, Encanto. You are going south.
Oh!
Other side of the mountain.
I know. We're working.
Don't work. Tiana, Thunder. Thunder's not moving. Thunder, you can move the entrance.
No, but I'm just saying the layout.
Louisiana to Texas to Mexico to Encanto.
And then you have big, So, but I'm just thinking of the layout of the park though, because when you're going up the ramp, because you have Big Thunder Mountain right, like straight ahead, Splash Mountain.
Brian, you're thinking of park layout. You're not thinking of backstage. The way it's set, where you're going to build with the railroad, where you're going to build. There's not as much backstage for Tiana's Bayou Adventure. There's none unless I'm not saying this is the case before anybody starts throwing things. Please be rotten fruit. Unless you're going to destroy Big Thunder and rebuild it.
No, I don't think that. No, honestly, that's
the only.
I got it. Nope, timeout. I got it. I got it. I hate to say this, but I think it's time to say goodbye to not only Tom Sawyer's Island, but the riverboat.
What's the hate? Besides something that sucks people.
What's the hate? The smell. The smell when they have to dredge that one more last time.
Yeah. I can almost guarantee you that's what's going to be beyond.
I'd be okay with that. I'd be fine. I personally would be fine with that.
Because here's why. Disney Villains, Haunted Mansion.
Disney Villains will be Tom Sawyer Island. Because it will be the island of the lost.
I'm curious with the artwork if it'll be that's a good. I like that, the island of the lost right there. Right. I do like that. Or is it in the Haunted Mansion? But is it going to be? You're going to have Thunder, Encanto, Thunder, Coco, Encanto, and then all the way in the back, you're going to have almost a giant retaining wall, and that's where you'll see the villain stuff.
Yep. But I have a feeling though they're going to just flatten out Tom Sawyer, get rid of the riverboat and all that.
That's a very interesting.
Because here's the thing: if you guys know, if they want to be politically correct, if you know the book of Tom Sawyer, Huckleberry Finn, what was their buddy's name? Started with an E. Started with
it didn't. His name
Engine.
is Jim.
Oh,
His name is just Jim.
I-
Because there's a musical Big River, and his name is just Jim.
but I thought
There's
there
movies.
was some.
Yes. No. In the book, yes. And historically now, they've named it, he's just Jim.
I thought it was something Tom too. Something.
There's something with that too, but no. Who you're referring to would just be Jim.
Okay. But still, regardless, I mean, if they want to,
That would work. I'd be okay with that.
If they got rid of Splash Mountain, I mean, come on, you're telling me that they did not think about Tom Sawyer's Island?
They may not be able to. There is a chance they may not be able to as easily as you think.
Also, important things. Song of the South is in no way, shape, or form a revered work of art. Whereas, politically correct or not, the works of Mark Twain are literary history.
Do not put that in my drink there, buddy.
True.
Like, you can...
Oh, yeah.
Tom Sawyer, you actually can go, well, that's history.
I'm just talking from many different angles here, but there is always a chance with the body of water there.
Mm-hmm.
That
Just
you can dredge it.
just with maintenance alone. If
There's
they
all
disturb
sorts of this pulls a lot of questions in. I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm not saying it's not part of the plan or possible. I'm just saying that's the only thing I could see against it is if they don't do that, because I love the idea, don't misunderstand. That's a great idea. It's a genius idea, and frankly, a smart idea, but the only thing it could be physically feasible to do.
Well, here's the thing too. If they're talking about possible layoffs, they could be looking at it as a possible way of saving money. Where they're like, look, if we don't need to take care of the water, why pay these cast members to maintain it?
It costs a lot to fill it in, too.
Exactly. And now I'm
I
also
have an idea
thinking
about that.
well, and only this too. So I'm also thinking from a layout perspective, if they really want to make the Walt Disney World Railroad an attraction in itself, how cool would it be to actually drive through those towns, Encanto, Coco, like as you're driving, instead of having just like trees, just like nothing to look at, having some sort of reference for those South America, Mexico, Southwest,
that
in
would
the Adventureland area, because you get the one part of the train, you get to see Big Thunder Mountain. And how cool would it be? It continues through Adventureland by seeing all the other architecture through the stories of, the different characters, not actually go through the rides themselves, but still kind of have that historic Western feel town out in the Old West.
areas.
Yeah, because you see the Native Americans.
But that's a given. That's a given. If they're building in this area, the railroad ain't moving. They're building around the railroad.
Right.
But that's a given. They're going to be going through these areas. And I think it would be good to go through them, maybe not go through the villains, because villains would generally hold up a train, but that's beside the point.
At which point you are cutting in on another park's shtick.
Yeah. Because the other option would be, on the other side of the train tracks, isn't it just parking lot, or is that cast member?
Cast area.
Back where are you talking about behind Big Thunder?
Yeah.
Park 1 ends. Park 3 ends. Hold on.
I was thinking more behind Fantasyland.
No, you're still in the gap there. No. Cast parking is up. You have to take a bus there from Fantasyland to get there.
So could you theoretically? So is that just parking, like for general admission? Is that just a parking lot though?
No, it's just road until you get to.
So they couldn't flatten out on the other side that way and create a.
You could again, John. This is where you used to have the problem of traffic because the road loops all the way around the park.
You're right. It does.
It does. Again, it could work. Also, another idea that's possible. We don't actually have to technically fill in Tom Sawyer Island to that gateway there. We don't have to fill that in. We don't have to. If only Tiana happened to be about a movie from a city built in a giant bowl. We could simply make it New Orleans.
We talked about this before, but I don't think that was the.
I don't saying that's what they're going to do. I'm just saying that's another option for them to do something if they want to expand upon Tiana.
But you have Liberty Square right there, though, too.
Mm-hmm. You can still split it. The whole thing doesn't have to be. I'm just saying you can fill part of it in and call part of it New Orleans. You could have an attraction, an eatery, whatever down there,
right,
and have the city up here. I'm just saying you could do all sorts of different things.
Yeah, time will tell.
But I think it's more likely to go back to the other side of the mountain and have the things over there. If they fill it in, that'd be fantastic.
Yeah. And then what else? Toy Story 5, Zootopia 2, Frozen 3.
Okay, but thank God I with shorts of coming in Zootopia. I'm just glad Zootopia is getting. I love Zootopia.
Yeah,
that's one of my favorite Disney movies. So I'm like, really? I thought we were done with Toy Story and Frozen. Couldn't care less about. Oh, but Zootopia.
I mean, honestly, God, like, where does the story go from? I mean, four. Look, 3 was phenomenal. 3 was absolutely fantastic. That ending was by far like that touched my. I felt like I was a kid again watching Toy Story 3.
Still thought they were gonna die.
Same here.
I still thought for 1 second they were.
I was like,
oh my God, heaven.
Like, this is literally all dogs, like all dolls, huh? All dolls go to heaven.
No, it's not. Big lipped alligator moment.
Right.
Leave me alone. I have to bring Ken Page up when the opportunity arises.
But like Toy Story 4 was good though. Like they actually pulled it off. But I'm like, where do we go from here? Like, is now the little girl Bonnie all grown up? Like, I don't understand. Like, where
you can have. The problem is inherently Toy Story is always going to be about Woody and Buzz. Inherently, you could have Toy Story with just about the other toys and have all sorts of new drama or anything. There's endless options here.
Right.
But I don't know. I didn't love Toy. I liked it. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was
I didn't
good.
Love certainly giving Annie Potts more work. I'm all about. You could simply do it when you have 2 storylines that had to go. We have to go get Buzz and everybody because we're saving toys and we need their help. There's all sorts of stupid things you could do. But the problem I have with it doing it, if they're going to have them involved, we had a very emotional moment for 2 actors about their characters.
Yeah.
So that just means nothing now.
Yeah.
Throw it out the window. Oh no.
I don't want another Toy Story.
I agree.
Yeah, like, I mean, okay, Zootopia 2, you have to continue that story, but like Frozen 3, I'm like, all right, I guess. I mean, these are blockbuster hits for, fandoms, but I'm sure next on the list would be Moana 2 and then Encanto 2, and next thing you know, we'll get Encanto on as a Broadway musical.
Shut up! No! Bad Brian! Bad Brian! Bad!
Come on, no. We're all thinking it. We all know it's bound to happen.
No.
No, it's Disney's big marketing sell with Lin-Manuel.
Yeah, and that's exactly why it's not going to happen.
It's that or Moana. It's one of the two.
And guess what? He did work on both, and I'm telling you, I don't think either is going to happen because I think that man will not do it unless he's 100% sure it's going to be the biggest hit of hits. Because anything he's in a catch-22. He himself right now is only sitting here getting away with anything of them selling his name for New York, because he's only adding lyrics and he's not doing the music.
I mean,
John Kander is, and that's the only reason he's getting around this. Okay, I'm telling you, that man's ego will not let him do anything that's not going to be a mega hit at this point.
I was just going to say, because he's inches away of being a sellout. I mean, I could just see it right now. Big marquee, Walt Disney, Disney on Broadway, and Lin-Manuel presents.
In the Heights and Hamilton would be dead. DOA. He would ruin anything he's built for himself. I'm telling you, the man won't do it. He's got an ego too big.
Because I know he's been really heavily pushing having his projects in the parks. And I mean, we're getting a Moana attraction, and now it sounds like we're finally getting an Encanto attraction. So
finally, it hasn't been that long.
But I mean, it's like Disney's clearly like wanting to please him
and I will
getting him what he
say,
wants.
well, Moana, he only did the music for Moana. I wouldn't give him all the credit there, but I will say this: the more I see of it, that is a gorgeous looking walkthrough.
It is.
So I am a little more seeing it as it's fully fleshed out. It does look really nice, Moana.
But speaking of production, I know we're kind of going off topic now, off Disney. I'm sorry, but I just have to talk about Epic Universe right now that we can go back to Disney. Oh my God. I can't get over how fast they are on track to make this thing work. Like, the construction alone of the family coaster for the Universal Monster section is pretty much all but done.
Just say it. No, come on. Just say it. We all see the house structure going up. Just say the Wolfman attraction.
Yeah.
We all know. I see that house. That's the Wolfman coming.
That is a Wolfman family coaster for some reason. And then that castle for the Universal Monster attraction, God only knows what kind of, monster style ride we're going to be dealing with. This rumor is it's a new style. What?
It's Van Helsing. What monster? It's Van Helsing.
Well, no. Monster. I'm talking like monster vehicle. Like what kind of monster vehicle we're dealing with. Like it's rumors are all over the place. That right now they're saying it's Forbidden Journey 2.0.
That I was just going to say here. Okay, the reason I say that's a given, if they're doing what I think they are, Forbidden Journey's plans started life as Van Helsing.
Yeah.
They definitely used it because Van Helsing was supposed to be built on a Kuka arm.
Right.
That's why it was, and that's why, folks, if you don't know, with the code names at Universal, that's why it was named Project Strong Arm, because we're strong arming it away from Disney, but also, Kuka's a robotic strong arm. Haha. Yeah.
But I can't wait. I just want Universal to just come out like on the Super Bowl or sometime soon and just be like, here's our big announcement. Like, this is what's happening.
They will only do that when they finally, and I mean finally, get elements going up, and it's very clear. Once it becomes, we can't hide it anymore.
Well,
now's the time.
Wizarding World, they can't hide that anymore. I mean, the facade, it's pretty much London, Paris style building. We all know it. That's a
Wizarding World for now and forever has always been a given to come. That's money in the bank to them.
Yeah, and they're saying it's Fantastic Beasts. They're saying it's going to look like a Paris, 1800 turn of the century,
That's
Paris.
It's going to be Paris Diagon Alley, but it's going to end up being the Ministry of Magic attraction. That's what they're all saying.
And the story behind this attraction. If this is the ride that, like, just the story alone, if this is true, I want to be the first to ride this. Have you guys heard the story behind this ride?
Which story? Okay, which story? You mean the story of the ride itself?
Yeah, like the adventure that you're going to be doing in this ride.
Cursed Child, what?
No, well, not really. It's
not really. Cursed Child could literally be called Harry Potter. Let's do the time warp again.
It's not Cursed Child. It's not that old. So it's literally like
it's the jumping through time.
Oh, yeah. Well,
that's what I mean. It's Cursed Child. That's in Cursed Child. Harry Potter, let's do the time warp again. That's what Cursed Child could be.
I don't know if it is Cursed Child. Because anyway, the with time jump, all I know is it's about Dolores Umbridge's trial after the events of the Deathly Hallows.
You enter the Ministry of Magic. She's on trial for the events of the Deathly Hallows. What happens is the Death Eaters come in and want to break her out. What she's trying to get someplace to get a time turner to go back. Oh,
that's right. Okay,
that's why I'm saying
you're right.
I actually not trying to knock anything here, but I'm saying just Harry Potter. It's about time.
Yeah. And I think it's kind of funny because that kind of sort of resembles the plot of Back to the Future ride. If you think about it, like
there's nothing. Well, of course, it does. That's Back to the Future. Honestly, I'm just happy having Imelda Staunton reprise. They've said she signed on. Imelda Staunton's reprising her role. She was fantastic as that little demon.
But what's fantastic is that they're saying that because she wears pink all the time, when she becomes a Death Eater, when she gets released, her apparatus, like her apparition's actually pink smoke and not black. Like everyone else has black, but she has a pink one. And I'm like, oh, that is adorable. Like, I want to see that on screen. I want to see that happen. It's like, oh, that's clever. Like, it's cute.
The ride system to me, because I've heard it's going to be a Spider-Man, a Transformers type, but Universal has had this patent out there of, that's why we would know, but a tower, a ride like that,
it's
but
like an
tower,
elevator.
and I've heard there's a chance that's for Epic Universe and for this attraction. Again, that is pure speculation. I have no idea. That is literally a rumor. That could be the Dippin' Dots guy for all I know.
I wonder if this Harry Potter attraction might be somewhat. I'm not saying it's the same vehicle system as Rise and Mickey and Minnie's, but when they're saying with like if they're using the elevators for the Ministry of Magic as part of the ride system, I'm almost wondering if they're going to use that sort of concept with having the elevator like 2 or 3.
That might be a patent Disney owns.
It's a patent a third party owns.
Or third party, but you know what I mean? I don't know if they'd be able to do that. I'm thinking it's going to more have Transformers elevators.
What were the Transformers elevators?
Transformers.
I'm trying to remember how it was. I was trying to remember.
Okay, when you ride Transformers, you enter a big room twice with big screens. That's an elevator. You're going up to the second floor and then back down to the exit.
But you're physically going up. You don't feel like you're going up, though. You actually
have no idea that you're going up.
But you are.
You are actually physically moving up to the second level, over, back down.
Okay.
But I would have seen that. That's something I think we would have seen already, because that's how, when they were building Transformers, that's how everybody knew what it was. Because it was like, hey, these are the elevator shafts from Hollywood. It's totally Transformers.
Does Spider-Man have that? Or is it just Transformers?
Spider-Man has an elevator, I think, but not the same way. Transformers was physically built on 2 levels.
Okay. See, all right. So I didn't know that. I thought Transformers was a mirror copy of Spider-Man. Because I thought because there was moments where Spider-Man felt like you were going up, but you physically
have elements. Spider-Man goes up, but I don't think it's the same thing.
See, I didn't even know they had elevators. I thought like the elevator system with Rise was like the first of its kind, like no other style.
Yes, it is, because it does it differently.
Oh, okay.
It's something that it's the first of its kind here in the United States. It might exist in other countries of Disney, but no. That's what I mean. They may not be able to do that here.
I gotcha. All right. Well, still, I mean, the idea that Universal has some sort of patent for an elevator system for that kind of ride vehicle. But yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll see how that is. But yeah, back to Disney. Well, with rides, I guess we can go right into Tron, and how this is just going to be a disaster waiting to happen.
Tron fails one of the big things of an e-ticket attraction. There is no line to eat people.
Mm-hmm. And again, that's something I've harped about with Disney for a while now. I actually had this conversation at my Lions Club meeting last night with someone. Well, Disney knows how to build things, and I scoffed and go, They go, what? They can't build a ride to eat capacity to save the damn lives at this point. Everything they build. Guardians can eat a line. I will say this: Guardians is a bona fide mover, like Tower of Terror. Now, when it breaks, those are the experience, different story, but that can actually move people through. I don't see Tron having any kind of capacity that they need, especially being where they are in the Magic Kingdom.
Yeah. I'm also talking its physical lack of a standby.
Yeah.
Lack of just holding 50 minutes worth of people to just not be in the park.
Which is something unbelievable. How did you not build? Come on. I'm not saying they have to have Universal style lines. Those are ridiculous. But you couldn't build a proper queue for this? Come on.
I know. The queue itself, I was watching POV footage of this. It's insane. I mean, it's literally like you're outside for a hot second. You go into this small room that, like, Liz and I are watching because she was trying to get an idea if maybe she would want to ride this next time we go down. And the one room, she'll
hop on.
Well, she would not stand in line because this one room is worse than even being in like Spaceship Earth. The walls are so enclosed, and it looks like you're only fitting like, I don't know, X amount of people at a time in this room that is literally wall to wall space. I would say from like, it looks like people of like large capacity wouldn't even fit in this queue. Like it is
Go
such
on.
By design.
Go on, say it.
like
Come on, I'm right here. Elephant in the room, baby.
I just it looks so small in there, and then
It probably is. It's probably
and then and honestly, I hate to say it, but it looks cheap. Like
you
there's
can't. The future always looks cheap. It's the problem with building the future.
It's just the future in general because we live in the here and now. Well, everything's supposed to look sleek, and unless you make everything little out of literal metal, any kind of plastic, go look cheap.
There's this one room that just has like white or blue tone colors with like neon designs. It looks cool, but it just looks like
I just wish they were building
rushed.
something. I was hoping, because I knew it wasn't going to happen. It's a carbon copy. I was hoping to have something around the Master Control Program, the NPC, Master Program Control NPC.
Right.
And so you could have the queue going through that room where his giant face is there.
Yeah.
I knew it wasn't going to, but because to me, that's my favorite part of Tron. He's the villain.
But there is a cool reveal though, where you move into this larger room and there's this LED monitors, like television screen that's a two-way mirror, and it will say like users, like they're getting you like into the digital world of Tron, and then the screen opens up, and then it's in
the launch.
It's impeccable time. It's like right when it happens, the launch happens, and it just shoots.
That's fun.
That kind of reminds me of Velocicoaster a little bit, where that one scene in Velocicoaster's queue where the launch happens and the Raptors and the monitor just like are chasing the vehicle. So that's neat. And
I'll tell you how I feel about that one day. The maybe not so distant future.
That roller coaster is so much fun, dude. I rode that twice. And it was so cool because like when we went down, that was the year that we got those comp tickets. It was last year. And Liz and I had the option to either hit that first thing in the morning or Hagrid's. And we were like, let's just do Hagrid's first because, that's
smart.
Well, here's what happened. As we were making our way to Hagrid's, I'm looking at the Universal app. It pops and it goes temporarily closed.
Oh, was it delay day for Hagrid's?
Well, no, it was like because we got early admission to the park with the comp tickets.
Sometimes Hagrid's doesn't open up till 1:00.
No, it was open because we were heading there. It was only a 20-minute wait. And then I kept as we're heading to Hagrid's, it goes from 20 minutes and then it goes to 80 minutes and then it goes to 120 minutes and it says temporarily closed. I go, turn around. We're going to Jurassic World. Let's go. So
they have the capacity of 4.
Yeah. Well, and we knew what was going to happen because it was like everyone now was going to be making their way over to Jurassic Park because Hagrid's was shut. It broke down.
Hey, they're going to go right to not even Jurassic Park. Velocicoaster. They're going right to the paddock.
Yeah, Velocicoaster. So we stood in line for when we got there. They didn't update the timesheet. It was like 25, 30-minute wait.
The route sucked.
It ended up being close to 40, 45-minute, which was fine.
That's average. That 45 is actually their average, believe it or not.
But it went by so quick. Like it did not feel like 45 minutes. That line kept moving. They have
so much to see. It moves and there's so much to see in it. There's a ton of line there. Like that's why when I tried, it literally had a 20-minute wait.
Well,
if I fit, I would have just been like, I would have looked at the cast member and go, my name is Bruce. I live here now. You just keep saying hi to me.
Well, let me give you a tip, Bruce. Single rider line. I'm not kidding.
I know.
Literally walk on. I mean, this ride.
I know. Oh, I'm aware. Believe me, I'm aware. I'm a single rider master.
Well, to the point where it's like, don't even waste your money on the Universal Express Pass. Like, if it has a single rider line, for the love of God, just get in the single rider line. Don't even waste your money on.
Well, that's if you're single. People, if you want to ride together.
True. But what was interesting too was that they actually had signs up saying Universal Express Pass is not running at this time or not accepting at this time for Velocicoaster. And I was like, are you kidding me? Like people are coming to this park paying for Universal Express Pass. And if they're going to come up to see you guys and you're going to turn them, this is, I mean, we didn't buy Express Pass because I just went on single rider.
It could be a day that they were having low capacity. It could be. There's all sorts of reasons it could have been. With Universal, there's a chance it could have been a day that the whole system could have been down. And because they said they could be saying that, well, we're not selling them because.
Well, I'm just thinking for the people who are staying at the premier resorts, for the people that are spending that premier money that get the free.
Subject to availability.
Because remember, everyone at Disney had able to be fast passes, but getting Toy Story was hard. You would give re-ads and everything. Yeah. It's just for anything but Toy Story Mania.
Yeah.
All subject to availability. Because frankly, most people have to. You can ride everything else express. It's really not that bad.
True.
And as long as it's something that, if they know it's closed, like if they know they're not accepting it there that day, they should be disclosing that when they're selling them that day.
Mm-hmm. If they don't disclose it, they have to refund your money. You have to disclose that. And they probably were. By the way, just so you know, Velocicoaster's down for, this will not work on Velocicoaster today. And then a lot of people either say yes or, oh, no. Because, frankly, if it works on Harry Potter, it's still worth it.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. Like, to me, to my knowledge, that was the only roller coaster that I noticed that sign was the Express Pass for that particular coaster who just wasn't accepting Express Pass. But other rides were.
You were still also pretty early in its running, and they may just have not turned it on yet for that ride at all.
No, you know what? You're right, because we were walking in, they still had the general public roped off. Like in the park.
That's probably why it was not expressed. That's because there's usually a reason for Universal. They don't care. Because they love to sell express.
Right. You know what? You're right. That was probably the answer. But long story short, literally, like single rider line. I got off with Liz.
Yeah. I'm done. Most times single rider line's the way to go.
And then her and her
Touch Track.
Yeah, her cousin and I just went back on single rider line. We walked right on the line, just right on.
Because of my height with my knees, Test Track's a no-go for me unless I'm set in the front, and I can't control that single rider.
Now the downfall, you missed all the queue encounters.
That's always how it is a single rider, though. It's a trade-off.
Yeah.
And frankly, that's why if I did it, I was gonna stand by once and then just do my, like I said, out in California, I rode Radiator Springs Racers about 9 times in a row thanks to single rider.
Yeah.
You're fast in like 20 minutes. But it's funny though, because we're talking about Tron and Velocicoaster. And the reason that's funny, folks, is because in the time it's taken Disney built Tron, Velocicoaster's been open, running, won awards.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
And there are so many little issues technicality issues that Tron has with this vehicle system or just the ride in general were
a nightmare.
The average American family is not going to are going to literally have trouble getting into this ride.
And why would that be, Brian? Would you care to enlighten the rest of the class?
Well, let me tell you what. I've been doing some Tron research here. I've been going into the grid and I've been doing some digging around. So
I see what you did there.
Yeah, right. I've been going into the grid. So pretty much all the vloggers who have been in right now, the roller coaster is only open to cast members and close family friends. So pretty much vloggers who have connections with Disney cast members have ridden this ride, and they've all pretty much had similar views, more so than others, depending on how much of that, theme park revenue checks they're getting in to be on the good side of the, to get all the free stuff. So pretty much the overall experience has been like, it's a fun, fast, thrilling ride. It's short, but they're all giving the vibe of, I'm fortunate to do this now before it's going to be a nightmare to the public where I don't want to be on this ride. Because now what Disney is smart about doing is that they have a photo op outside the ride where it's literally you testing the vehicle system to make sure you are comfortable in the train, in the motorcycle, before you get to ride the ride. And if you're able to actually sit in it. People are having difficulties to know which handles to hold on to. They don't know how far down they have to move their calves to be in place. They don't know how far they have to lean forward. Even the position once you get in it is. People have been saying it is an interesting way of sitting because it's not like Avatar. They're comparing Avatar to something as simple as getting into the haunted mansion. Basically, your body is in a position where you're in between laying completely flat, like in a Superman flight ride, and something that's standing up, or just standing like in a normal vehicle. So
like
you're kind of
riding a crotch rocket.
Yeah. And your calf
it's
muscles.
like you're right. Yeah, it's exactly. The thing is, it's like you're riding a motorcycle.
Cycle.
Now, in defense of the cast members here, though, that's the whole, and that's why the bloggers are. That's the whole point of this, is so they can learn.
Oh, absolutely, to relay the message.
Well, not just relay the message. So the cast members as they're going, okay, how fast are we getting in? Well, we're having trouble. Okay, guys, the calves, we're going to make a mark here so you guys know the calves have to be up here, locked in. When you pull down, and folks, so if you don't know we're talking about being on a motorcycle, that's why you're in a semi-pro position leaning forward. You have to grab onto something to pull the back piece of the restraint into place.
Right.
As you do that, though, that's not a handlebar. That is just the locking mechanism. You lock it, let it go, and then grab a special set of handlebars. But people don't know that yet because it's just not there yet.
Exactly. So that's the issue for the vehicle. The queue alone. Now, they do have 2 trains running. So they have one going while the other one's getting prepared to get everyone seated and all this stuff. But when you have your party set up, they have them set up in systems where if you're in parties of, let's say, row 1 or row 2 or row 3 or 4 or whatever, you normally would be side by side in that particular row. And now they've actually extended the lines where you're now vertical versus, or you're side by side versus back to back or behind each other. The one person has to walk across the cycles and get into the other side of the train when the one other person just walks normally how you go through. You don't actually cross through the seats into the other side. You actually have to walk around it. That is nuts. Absolutely nuts.
The fact that it took them this long to build this, and now that's your idea. At no point did you think, people ain't going to get that, and they still may change it. They may realize we have to change it, come up with a new system. But that is a real big part of this process that you just seem to kind of forgot.
And here's
it works in Japan.
Speaking of forgetting, let's talk about this little add-on feature they have to these motorcycles. So you're not supposed to put, now with the lockers, that's a whole nother, we'll talk about the lockers here too. But there is a small compartment in front of your motorcycle that is big enough to hold pretty much like small loose items. Like if you don't want to put your sunglasses in your locker, if you want to just put them on, if you just put them in, or it's big enough to fit an iPhone 10, 12 Max. Like it's a pretty big, small glove compartment that fits a couple of small things.
There are pictures online.
Now, here's my question. How much do you want to bet people will forget as soon as they get off the ride, they're going to forget about opening that little hatch?
They're going to forget it's in there. Something's going to happen with the hatch. It can't open. And now people are worried about getting their phone. This is a nightmare. How are you going to explain the hatch is here? Oh, I put it on top like this?
Like, here's my question. Why even have them if you have the lockers to begin with? Like, why even add that feature to the cars?
Dozer just said something before that he's right. Well, I talk about loading and unloading. He's got a point. You know why? But that's what they have it in Japan. Has to be. They probably have it in Japan. They figure it out. I'm just saying, you have so many different tourists from all over the country here. It's good. Oh, country. I'm sorry. So many tourists from all over the world. I said I meant country.
Well, you're not wrong. I mean, people from all over our country do come to Disney, but you're right. I mean, you guys are both right.
In Japan, you don't have to necessarily worry about the instructions explaining this in many different languages.
Yeah.
Right.
Here, at a bare minimum,
you
need English and Spanish.
Yeah.
But you need to be able to have it also conveyed to every language in the world.
English, Spanish, Portuguese. There's been plenty of times I needed a German translator at guest relations.
So the way I see it is there's an announcement as you're getting off. Don't forget your items. I've not watched any of the videos. I am taking pure guesses. And the hatches automatically open when the restraints are released.
That's what I'm thinking.
I
was just going to say that.
The hatches, they don't. It's something that you automatically flip up and down. You don't actually.
Big mistake.
Yeah, it's something. It's like a last minute Hail Mary pass. Like, oh, hey, by the way, if you forgot to put stuff in a locker, there is a small compartment in front of you. But no, it's something that you manually have to open and close. You can't. It's not automatic. At least I don't remember the video. Because Tim Tracker did a thorough video, because he had a portable GoPro that he was able to allow to carry, wear.
Yeah, Tracker always gets allowed in with whatever he wants.
So he was showing a full blown look at the vehicle itself, and I think it's something that you have to manually open and close, and it's not automatic.
I guess the only upside to that is if something goes wrong, you can blame them instead of saying it's our very expensive ride's fault.
Well, and talk about Disney being prepared. So the one thing I will say about Tron that it is the architecture is cool. Like walking up to the ride itself and just the walking, the path itself to get there, and then walking up to the marquee and just basically seeing the track and the cycle just flying overhead and the canopy, seeing that stuff and the footage, that looks neat. And I can't wait for this to be opened to the public at nighttime and see this thing light up at night.
But that's just it. Like those said last week, at nighttime. During the day, this thing ain't that awesome.
It's still cool. It still looks neat in the daytime, but
it's cool, but not like night.
Exactly.
But just think about that. Can you imagine the Lions as this ride it early, because that's when you're gonna be able to ride it?
Oh, sure. And nighttime, this is where the park gets crowded.
And think about when people go to Disney, mainly the summer, when days are long and nighttime hours aren't. Well, nighttime hours are, but the actual night isn't.
And you know the angle when that shoots out to the fire. If people ride at nighttime and see the fireworks out, there's going to be firework views from that canopy when they're outside.
Yes, around it maybe, but yes and no. Frankly, that might be a good time to go because so many people do go for the fireworks. Again, a lot of tourists, a lot of tourists from all over this country and other countries.
But what I was saying about Disney thinking ahead, so outside, if you look closely underneath in the canopy area, they actually have netting set up because they know people are stupid, and even though they have the lockers and they have the little glove compartment in front of the motorcycle, they'll still have the nets for the people that are still going to have their phones and hats and everything, because there's a walk path to get to the queue. So shoes too, yeah.
Flip-flops.
Yeah.
That's what it's that's
there's I hate to say it like this. Here's how it is. Shoes, wallets, keys, sunglasses, hats. Shoes are the big one, but those are the big ones. Pockets. People are going to do stupid things. They're going to think they're going to hide and hold their phone. There are all sorts of stupid things there. You have to, unfortunately, you have to plan for the human element. Something Universal didn't do with Dueling Dragons, or shouldn't have done, but they did.
Yeah.
That's why they ended up closing it. Thank you, whoever threw that screwdriver, jackass.
Brought a screwdriver.
That's what happened. It's
I know.
Yeah.
I know. It's more
screwdriver. Who
brought
a screwdriver? Yeah. But it takes out the human element. And that's the only thing is people are going to make mistakes.
Yeah.
You're going to have, like we just said about people aren't paying attention. It's overstimulating for some people to just be, they're so excited to get on the ride.
Right. So
that's.
Oh, and glasses. Glasses are another one.
Yeah, right? Glasses are going to be probably the most. I'm going to be, especially after this park, this ride being open for, let's say, a couple of months. I want to know how many small loose items were lost in a given 30, 60 days.
Tons.
As for any ride.
Yeah.
Look at the shit you pull out of Splash Mountain.
A Milky Way wrapper. I broke the rhyme.
And here's the thing that a lot of people don't consider as an everyday glasses wearer. My everyday glasses, I could wear on any roller coaster and they will not move because they are fitted properly to my head. My sunglasses don't fit this well. They will fall off anywhere.
Yeah, your sunglasses here. Some may forget. Cast members can remind you, but you know what? They're not infallible. They're people too. They make mistakes. There's all sorts of one of the best things, one of the best ride pictures. Both happened at Universal. We were riding the Hulk, our first ride there. I was so excited. The picture. My dad looks miserable. He's like this. He goes. He's now thinking, my glasses can't. If I lose these, vacation's done.
But he looks like he's miserable. Like,
He looks
God.
like he is having. He looks like his head is pounding. He's having the worst time. He loved it. He couldn't love the Hulk more. We got off. Your mother can wait a little bit. Let's ride again.
And I hope you guys bought that photo because that seems like that's definitely like a
no. There's two we did. The other one at Universal. There's two we didn't. That one we didn't. Later that same trip. Jurassic Park River Adventure. We are in the front row. My dad didn't take off his hat. Now just picture this. Giant folks, Jurassic River's never been on it. Giant flume ride, big boat. We're in the front row of like 8 rows. Lots of people behind us. The hat comes off on the drop. The entire picture of the drop is everybody reaching for the hat. The hat in midair in every single arm behind us. We hit the bottom, splash everywhere. My dad goes, I guess I'm not getting that hat. Got it! Like, you would have thought the guy just won the Super. I got it!
That's awesome.
And we're gone screaming. And the whole car's like, yeah! Give it to her!
That's awesome.
We should have only picture I really regret not buying because it literally was our family,
That's like the memory photos that people have been posting of Splash Mountain with like the best Splash Mountain photos ever. Like that would be something like, I mean, this is years down the road when Jurassic Park is the thing of the past or whatever, and you want to have in memoriam of like riding river. Like that would be one of those epic photos that Universal would use for their like social media posting.
It was something you couldn't. It was just like it happened. And later that night I was like, we should have bought that picture.
I mean, that's better than Dozer, my photo with Top Speed Dragster. My God, the face that like our faces were like just like smushed. It's like
I actually wish they would film like my face in some roller. I'm sure these cheeks got to be Richard Nixon jowl moving.
Well, and when we went down last year, her cousin's girlfriend was pointing. We rode Rip Ride Rocket, so she was pointing out to where the camera was on the ride, so we can all do like a pose. And like she was like, "All right, like we're trying to," and she was telling us this while the ride was happening. Like we should have planned something better, and she would give us a signal. But she was like leaning over, and she's like, "Here comes the photo," and I'm like, "What?" And so the camera has me looking like, "What?"
You know what? It's better that way.
And we bought the photo. Like,
oh, good.
We bought the photo. It's somewhere upstairs. I have to find it, but it's like, and I'm trying to do like the rock on, so I look like I have doubts. I'm like,
just think you were just a little early because months later, that's why everyone waiting for the lines below for hard are going, hi guys, are ready to go in?
Oh my God.
I still think the ride that generates the best on-ride photos is Dinosaur.
I'm telling you, there are so many people that have vacation photos. I take the best dinosaur photos you ever. The one was the best. It looked like I was really about to climb out of the train. These people had to buy it. They were going nuts. How scared that guy was. I was like, yes.
I mean, like, I wish I bought it. Was it our 1 year anniversary, or because we went back to back years? It was either our first wedding anniversary or second wedding anniversary, but it was one of those. It might have been our first because she hadn't been in Disney in a long time. So we went on Dinosaur, and I, honest to God, I wanted to buy this photo, but she would have been so mad at me. Like the terrifying face, like that her face was genuine, like fearful. And even I had kind of like a jump scare because it was a while for me too to ride that, right? And I forgot where the photo op. I remember it was when it was one of the Carnotauruses, and I felt like it was the one when it was on the right hand side because it was
on the right. It's right before the final turn to the big head.
So, and I remember that but her face was almost like pale, like she saw it. Like it was like true terrifying. Like I wish like Halloween Horror Nights have those like jump scare photo ops
because those lights are blinding when they hit you.
I know, and it's like
half the time you're just going, it's dark. What's happened?
I wanted to buy that photo so bad, and she'd be like, "Don't you dare! Don't you dare!" I didn't, but we saw him like that's like genuine fearful for her
life. My sister had it someplace because I didn't tell her what I was going to do when I was down with her and her kids and everything. And I'm just going, and I'm like, it looks like I'm choking her because the face she made when I grabbed her looked up. She was like, eh.
There was a photo somebody did. It might have been this. Actually, I think it was Liz. I think Liz and I did it the second year. So the second year, I think what we did, we actually turned the other direction. So when the photo took a shot of our backside. So we were facing the other direction when the camera took us. Everyone was looking that way. We were looking because we knew where it was. So her and I turned the other direction and looked the other way. We're like, should we buy that? We're like, no, let's not buy that. It's just like an inside joke from the previous year.
These are things that you don't need to worry about because now you buy Genie Plus, you get your on ride photos.
I know. That's so.
That Tower of Terror is another one. I take awesome photos.
You know what? That perk alone actually makes me want to buy Genie Plus. Like just the on ride photos alone, because
it's worth it.
It is.
For the price per day for a family, because a lot of families take a lot of, that's what you want as a souvenir. That's worth it. That's worth its weight in gold.
Because the other thing too, because otherwise you have to buy the photo pass, which is like $80, $100. And
it's a Memory Maker. They're still called.
I'm sorry. Yeah, it's called the. You're right.
I wasn't sure. I actually was like,
I'm a horrible travel agent. I'm a horrible travel agent.
My heart fluttered. They changed the name.
No, it's Memory.
I'm so happy.
No. I'm a horrible travel agent. It's called Memory Maker.
You're not a horrible travel agent. He's the best travel agent. Brian that Love the Mouse Travel.
Thank you. Nice little segue plug in there. But yeah, I mean, like we when we went down this past year, I purchased it because I wanted to obviously sell Memory Maker and add those magical add-on. I mean, the photos turned out great when I uploaded them on my page, but like overall, unless you're taking like a big family and that's something that you guys want to do, is to like stand, and I'm not saying these lines are long for the professional photographers, but you are going to be waiting on average, depending on how crowded the park is, 5 maybe 10 minutes max. But typically,
you're finding the wrong photographers.
Yeah,
no, they're flooding them. That's the thing. That's the issue right now. When we went down, they had, I counted at least 6 within 6 feet of each other in that central hub where the Mickey statue was. They were all on top of each other taking photos, all on top of each other.
And one will have less people. It always works. We never wait. We barely.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like the people.
If there's a line, come back. Trust me, it's all timing. You will find them without a line.
Well, we found one because everyone else found the one that didn't have the line, so we waited in a line that had like 2 or 3 families in front of us. That's what we said, like 5 minutes.
2 or 3 families is not bad,
right?
I'm saying, because you were early. After that, forget about it.
Right, but it was they're flooding, so don't worry. And they're easier to spot too. This is something new they just released. So the Memory Maker team cast members are all wearing. I correct me if I'm wrong. You double check on the web. I want to say it's bright neon green shirts. Like we're talking like 80s retro, like lime green, spotting in the crowd.
Bruce approved.
Eyesore color green.
Don't you call that an eyesore?
No, but
approved.
But they stick out. They don't blend into the
it's
theming.
Supposed to.
Like
the old safari photographer uniform wasn't hard to spot either.
But like, you know, you're in Main Street and they kind of look like Main Street people with somewhat of a hat or like suspender.
They were never
No.
themed. Not
They
in the last,
all
like,
wore the same
Oh,
vest. Trust
you're
me.
right. They were like a tan vest, blue.
Trust me.
Yeah,
no
you're
one
right.
could theme those.
The only people
And-
that haven't changed are the Galaxy's Edge memory making photographers.
Different. That's
Because
the
it's
exception
theming.
to the
It's
rule.
theming. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the big thing is, having spoken to many of these people, because for the last many years we've had Memory Maker, because it used to come with our annual pass. Thank you, Chapek. It's now
Hey,
an
it's
add-on.
JPEG.
It's now an add-on, except I have it because I'm the only one who maintains my DVC annual pass. But they don't know where they're going to be dispatched on any given day. They are
Right.
sent.
Yeah, they are truly that I knew from friends who did it.
They are the most
know.
nomadic cast members.
Yeah. But it's just basic. I think it's just like a basic green T-shirt, just something simple that
I like
sticks
that.
out in the crowd. So
Eh,
for the people that want to like take the photos on, if that's like what they want to do on their trip, like they're there and they're all over the place. Like you
It's
can't
wonderful.
miss them.
I just wish, and this is me being an entitled Disney guest, I wish that they did not honor other people's cameras.
Yes, I agree.
I agree.
I'm surprised they do that. That's a liability.
Okay, if there is no line, whatever, sure. But when there's like 10 people in line, and then they take their photo, and then 3 people from the group give them a fuck you.
Well, and the thing is too, it's
No,
like people are
don't do that,
paying
Mike.
for the Memory Maker. Like, why are you paying for this service and using your phone? Like, just take the damn
Because
photo
people
yourself.
forget photos can be shared. And it's one of those. If they did it, it should be one camera and one camera only. But frankly, here's my also problem with this. They're all handing their phone over. That cast member, it's sweaty. They drop it. Now Disney, you got to buy me a new phone because your cast member dropped. That's ridiculous. That poor person probably did nothing.
Now, what I have noticed,
I don't like that.
what I have noticed though, the last time when I was there, that I was actually somewhat impressed with, is that I did not see guests actually hand their phone to the cast member and say, "Can you take a picture with my phone?" It is up to the cast member to say, "Do you want me to take a photo off of your phone?" Because the one cast member did that to us. She's like, "Do you want me to take any photos with your phone?" And I'm like, "If you don't mind," I'm like, we wanted you to take the professional ones. I said, "Our photos are not going to turn out as good as yours." Like, I was trying to be nice with her, not use my phone. But she insisted. She was like, "Here, I'll take a few photos off of your phone." I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." But yeah, I mean, because I did ask her, I was like, "Is this normal?" She's like, "We typically don't want people to ask us for their phones, but it's up to us if you She's like, "I don't mind," but she's like, we're not technically we're not supposed to, but people do it.
It's just frustrating, especially on like Main Street, where that is where lines can get bad, but they're not even the best photos. You just look for the other people, and you look for the ones that have the really cool shots. Like there's the one in Epcot where it's a full zoom in photo and the camera's on top of the entrance. Like
where is that? I wanted to find that when we went down. Where was that? Which cast member? I didn't know which.
So there's the big fountain, like in the center, or maybe not a fountain, maybe it's a topiary, whatever it is, before Spaceship Earth, and they're right on the one side of it. It's just just the person with the camera, and then they go and look over there. And then you see the cameras on top of the entrance.
Because what I was thinking about doing was I wanted to get a photo. I was thinking about maybe buying the Memory Maker for my buddy's bachelor party. Because I wanted to find the photo for Galaxy's Edge where it does the zoom in, zoom out with like where you're standing, and then it zooms out to like how big Galaxy's Edge is, and it's like zooms out and you see the Millennium Falcon, and then like you get small.
I don't know where that person is though, but I'm sure there's a website that does.
There always is.
I can always ask one of the cast members there too.
They know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's kind of cool when they do all the special photos and things appear and, oh, look, I'm holding a bird. I'm holding Figment.
I think that's cute. I like that they do that. It's a cute thing. I like that stuff though, because it makes it, you know what? They're paying for it. It makes the vacations better. That's the little things, because the pictures matter the most than anything else. The merchandise is great. Don't get me wrong. I love myself some merch.
And I'll tell you what, May 4th is actually looking good right now because it's not sold out. I'm still waiting for their share of the money for the tickets, but I keep looking at the crowd calendar. All 4 parks are open on May the 4th, and I'm like, that's shocking for being February right now. Like, with us basically leaving in 2 months, it's available to make reservations. I'm shocked.
I have not seen many parks with limited availability.
Speaking of and speaking of which, this is like hot off the press in the past like 48 hours. It is almost every restaurant on property has availability for reservations. I don't know if there's a glitch in the system right now, but every dining option is available.
Yeah, but that could be like, you can get Ohana's at, 4:30 the moment they open or something.
No, like we're talking like people are been reporting it in the park, and they go on the reservation system and it's like, oh, be our guest, available in 30 minutes for reservation. Like a reservation opened up, like, and it's ready in 30 minutes. Or like,
then you do not look a gift horse in the mouth, you just go.
Or like you're in Magic Kingdom or like Hollywood Studios, and then like, oh, Space 220 reservation available in an hour. Would you like to book this reservation for Space 220?
Yeah,
because they get the notifications off their Genie Plus. Like they'll have these like notification pop-ups, and people are like, wait, what? Like this reservation, this what?
It sounds like the system is finally working the way it's supposed to.
Yeah,
they figured out some of the bugs there.
But did it cause a glitch to make all these like these timings all be available, like 7, 7:30, 8, 8:30, 9, like all of these?
It is feasible that, in the slower time of year and everything, it's certainly feasible that that's the case.
And the right party size.
True.
Speaking of what used to be apparently a laborious task, my booking window just opened up for the cruise to book all my fun shit.
Nice.
How'd it go?
It went wonderfully. Now, we had a friend who has a cruise that's leaving in a month or two. And they went, oh, man, we got nothing we wanted. Everything was booked. So Meg was worried as hell because she's an overplanner, and I'm trying to calm her. Like,
understandably.
Yeah.
Look, we don't need to go right on at midnight. We're Castaway Club. We get to book 90 days. They didn't get to book till 75 days. We have a 15-day window here where
you're good.
Yeah.
But I did do a little freak out when I realized our sailing is sold out. I'm like, it's a sold out sailing on the Wish.
Wow.
Woo! Good luck with that, bud.
Wow.
You look at the Wish sailings, like you do the 4-day Bohemian cruise, which we're doing, and it like hits our cruise, and then it drops off till like October. Like, everything is sold out in that window. And I know the Wish is just doing this loop.
Yeah, it's been in that loop for a few years.
4-day, 3. It'll be in this loop until the Treasure comes out.
Right.
This is how it goes. The new ship does that loop.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, fuck. This is going to be hell. Bookings open at midnight. I was on at midnight. First thing I book, they have one show of this Olaf's Royal Picnic that is apparently the bee's knees. And I'm like, well, Bella needs to do that. A $220 brunch, it better be good.
Oh my God.
Woo! I'm sure it's going to be fantastic.
God.
Your daughter, your loving baby angel.
Hold on.
Love it.
Your goddaughter.
This is the first time that
This
is the first time I've ever seen reverse pricing. Kids ticket $220, adult ticket $69.
Get out of town!
I love that.
Oh my God! That's just as bad as like Bippity Boppity Boutique. Oh my God!
Are we sure Nintendo doesn't own Disney now?
But she gets a ton of shit. Like, she gets a backpack, a mandolin,
Ooh,
she gets
fancy.
all this stuff, like 10, 15 items. It's a big pack of stuff.
And you're just paying for the brunch because that's pretty much a brunch price. Like if you're going to Chef Mickey's.
Yeah, but you have to remember that is $70 on top of a ship with free food.
I know.
But no,
Maybe
you're
it's
paying for the extra
special.
entertainment. There's a lot of it's a whole Olaf show.
Wow,
Aw,
that's cute. That's cute.
she's
though.
gonna love it.
Yeah.
So we booked that, and then I went, what? And that is actually on her birthday. I'm like, oh, perfect.
Yeah, that's a perfect birthday present. That
then I'm
It's
like-
good.
I'm
yeah.
like, okay, how do I make this better? Oh, wait, 12 that day? Bibbidi bobbidi? Oh, hell yeah.
Nice.
So full princessed out. She's going to go to this so the brunch, lunch, whatever it is at 2:30. So 12, she gets her all princess gussied up. Then we'll go take some photos around the ship, go to Olaf's.
Aw.
And the morning starts out with Meg having a massage. So then so that's day 3 because I'm doing these out of work because that was the hard day to book. That was the first day.
Sure.
Then
Day 3 home run. What next?
yeah, day 1 I have nothing booked because that's board the ship, do fun stuff.
Yeah.
I think technically at 11 o'clock at night I have a bourbon tasting.
There you go.
Ooh.
Treat yourself.
Yum yum yum.
Treat yourself.
So
You
I
are
have that. Day 2 we're in Nassau, so I booked a dolphin encounter.
Aw.
We'll be in like 3 feet of water, not quite swimming with the dolphins, but she can pet the dolphin. She can see it.
Forgive me for asking this. What do they normally charge for the dolphin encounters?
Oh, they vary. I think this one was like $130 a person.
That's typical.
That's not bad.
Yeah,
That's like Discovery Cove.
and
For an encounter with animals, that's not
Yeah,
bad.
that's like
And it-
Discovery Cove price. Yeah.
and it includes a boat ride to get out there.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But sadly, unlike a lot of things, it's not a booze cruise. That's what really makes boat rides in the islands fun.
Hey, Flipper, how about a shot? Free Willy! Free Willy!
Hey, look, all I'm going to say is it was a cruise. It was a booze
That's
cruise.
why it's not a booze cruise, Dozer.
It was a booze cruise we took in St. John's on our one cruise that made us become DVC members. Because our drunk asses got ourselves back on the ship and went straight into a DVC seminar.
Nice. That's the secret. That's the secret. That's
I could see myself doing that. That's why I love it. I see myself. I'll come in and sign whatever you want.
Oh, you know that's part of the DVC book. You know those cast members talk about how many drunks have you gotten to sign up? Oh, I'm sure they more than they can.
There's
count.
their own version of a Deadpool. It's the drunk pool.
I will say, though, they failed because you walk in there, and one of the things they're advertising with the DVC thing is free drinks.
Yeah. See,
I'm like, I'll take a free drink. And, they were pre-made drinks. You didn't get to just go to the bar and order. And I go, well, what's that? Oh, it's a scotch and soda. I'm not going to argue. Yeah, they left a very important thing out. It wasn't scotch and soda. It was Drambuie and soda.
oh,
Like,
how did that taste?
Absolutely terrible.
That's just as expected then.
I'm like, you could have given me Johnny Walker Red. You could have given me Canadian Club. You could have given me anything else.
How about gasoline and
See,
water?
and
That would taste better.
I would be the kind of guy now to be like, look, you're trying to sell me a real estate timeshare, and this is the best you can give me.
Come on.
I'm not looking at-
This right here is top shelf, baby.
I would be like, listen, you want me to sit through a 3-hour presentation? You better give me something stronger than this piece of shit.
And you're gonna have to up the ante if you think I'm gonna buy at the end of this. So,
Yes, yeah.
Barkeep need
Yeah.
a refill.
So,
Full Ron Swanson on him.
then I also booked myself an old-fashioned tasting one night.
Oh, that sounds fun
That
Oh,
sounds delicious.
and
Oh.
dangerous.
All
Oh,
of these-
so dangerous.
all of these tastings are at like 10, 11 o'clock at
Of
night.
course.
And Meg and Bella go to bed early, and I do not. So I'm like, yeah, I'm going to this, and I'm going to deck 14 and smoking some cigars and calling it a
Oh,
day.
that is a touchdown in that house.
And then at 12:30 a.m., Dozer at at the front of the ship. I'm king of the world.
Yeah!
I'm king of the world. Yeah.
That
WWE.
gets especially awkward knowing the Wish, because where on some ships it was the adult pool, then it was the cast pool at the front. It's the teen club.
Oh, that would be extremely awkward.
Let's not go there.
He said, hey, see,
So
The Disney Wish has become basically Eagles fans at sea.
So then Castaway Key Day, I have a massage
Nice.
because
fantastic.
I booked that, and Meg at the end of the night has a gin tasting.
Ooh,
She
classy.
gonna love that.
That sounds fun.
So, and all of this went smoothly. Now the next big day is 30 days out when I could book our boarding time, which I want to be the second I can board.
Of course.
Because the second you board, the buffet opens.
Oh yeah.
Love a buffet.
And I want buffet. I want free food.
Yeah.
Well,
We
I
the
want
buffet.
I want previously paid for food.
Yes. Yes. Be one of the first ones on the ship. Absolutely.
So
Hey, big spender.
So we have all that booked, and then the only thing left to book, because it was not open yet, is they are having every day at, like, I forget what time, they're doing a big event in the Grand Hall with the captain and a champagne toast.
Nice.
Nice.
For the 25th Silver at Sea.
That's awesome.
Which
Awesome. Love that.
we are the 6th sailing of Silver at Sea.
No shit.
That's cool.
And
Awesome.
which also means, because I'm learning about this, Silver at Sea means not only is Disney the only ship with fireworks at sea, they're the only ship with fireworks at sea for 2 nights
Wow.
of a 3-night cruise.
That is the Disney difference.
Yeah.
So I am excited for that. I am not excited to have a sold out sailing.
Yeah.
But you know what? Sold out sailings don't always suck, because when they know it's sold out in advance and Disney makes their Disney ships, unlike everyone else, leave in the black.
Mm-hmm.
Every other cruise leaves in the red. Disney leaves in the black. That means they will have all the extra entertainment. You go on some of these ships where they know it's only half sold.
Pull it back, boys.
They're not booking the extra comedians. They're not booking the juggler.
Yeah.
So I'll take it. And knowing it's sold out for a run means they're going to have people there for long engagements. It's going to be good stuff.
Oh yeah.
So I'm excited.
You should be. We're excited for you, buddy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm excited to have a veranda.
Take many photos.
Ooh.
I need those photos for selling.
I absolutely will. And
The room, the balcony, everything.
I will.
Everything. Taste testing, everything. If you can take photos of the drinks, my God.
well, that all
What a
depends.
setup. Holy cow.
That all depends how I'm feeling at night and if I stumble my way into the hyperspace lounge.
Okay, so
You mean when you stumble your way into the hyperspace lounge?
No, this fucking thing has room for like 20 people.
yeah.
They
Hey,
fucked
Hey,
that up.
Bob,
Yeah,
you're Bruce, and just bowl your way in, baby.
I've been hearing a lot of the only negative thing I've been hearing about the Disney Wish is the hyperspace lounge. That is like the one thing that is a major letdown, especially considering that, and I guess what people are comparing it to, and it's tough to compare it, but they're comparing the hyperspace lounge to the Halcyon's cantina, like the hotel bar.
Woof.
It
And it's
Yeah.
like, well, I mean, technically you are paying more to stay at the Galactic Star Cruiser, so you are getting a better nightlife ambiance feel with, actual mixologists at the Galactic Star Cruiser making the drinks in front of you, and the Hyperspace Lounge is pretty much like a Olga's Cantina Light, with a feel of the Halcyon.
And cast members dedicated to being in that role versus
just cast members.
Well, I'm a bartender here tonight, and I'm a bartender there tomorrow.
Yeah.
The thing I am curious to see how it'll be on the Wish, and I know I've spoken about this before, is all the other Disney ships, all the bars are isolated to one area. There's an adult-only corridor.
Section. Gotcha.
Pleasure Island.
Okay.
Yeah. Whereas on the Wish, they're sprinkled throughout the ship.
Got it.
Which, I get and don't get, because you go back to this adult-only area, most of the time it's deserted. A little bit at night, it could get a little lively, but not lively. It was, hey, there's some people here.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I've been here for 45. 2 people just showed up.
Yeah.
The thing that makes me saddest is the piano bar, which was always my favorite on every ship.
Oh, I love the piano bar.
Is now the bar between the 2 upcharge restaurants.
Ugh, of course.
Which
Everyone's
I'm not
waiting in there.
Which I'm not doing because we have exactly enough nights to do the full rotational dining.
Need to do that? Hell yeah.
And it's also, we do the full rotational dining, and I can't trust Bella to like the kids club enough to stay there during dinner.
Right.
Everyone says every kid loves it and they never want to leave, but I'll have that one kid that wants to leave.
Hey, what could she say? She's got such a good mommy and daddy. I mean, who wants to be away from that?
Yeah, mommy and daddy.
I knew there'd be a reaction. Didn't think it would be that good, buddy. A+.
We looked at booking. I looked at booking a cabana for Castaway Cay. They were all sold out already. And take a guess. Wild guess of how much a cabana is.
$480.
Wait, 40 a day?
No, you're on cabana. You're on Castaway Cay for a day. So
okay.
So the 6 hours you're on Castaway Cay, a cabana.
Okay, Bruce, you're saying 480.
Oh, 680? I'm sorry. 6 hours you're there?
Yeah.
A whole day cabana, 825. You're thinking 825? Yo, I think you are way low balling it, dude.
I could be.
He's pretty close.
It's
like 789 or something.
Oh, okay. I was thinking it was gonna be closer to like 2,500.
No.
Nah, I can't do that. That's ridiculous. That would be a super, super high end cruise line. This is still Disney. That's actually why. That's why I was thinking for like a 3-hour session, in the upper 4s. That's why when you said 6. Oh,
yeah,
done.
Yeah, because they're not going to turn them over in the middle of the day. That's
true. Okay,
you're just going to get them at once. If you pass $1,000 for a day, you have a lot of people who won't be into it. People, we don't need that. We just hang on the beach. We'll be fine.
But they want you to stay on the cabanas.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that's what I'm getting at is
right.
You have enough people charging more. They go, it's too expensive. Got to drop it.
Right. So if they look at under $1,000, like
you see hundreds. Hey, it's stupid to say, but sometimes people see hundreds. It's one thing. The moment that comma comes in, whoa!
Well, because they already paid for that comma to go on the cruise ship, so they're expecting everything else to be way less than what they already paid to be on the ship.
And all you're getting is an air-conditioned cabana.
Yeah,
you're not getting. There's no drinks included or anything.
No. It's just to rent the cabana.
Space.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's not a huge sell, but to not have to deal with as many people, and the cabanas have their own private section of the beach, which, again, we're on a sold out sailing of the Wish. Castaway Cay is not made for the Wish.
It is not.
Ooh.
It's made for magic.
Yes, Castaway. As soon as. What is it? Treasure Point, Lighthouse Point.
Yeah, when this new expansion second
island opens.
Yeah.
I can almost guarantee you the bigger ships will almost never go to Castaway Cay.
No.
Correct. It'll be just for the originals.
Yeah.
OG.
The OG flagships.
Yeah.
Because if you remember, they had to expand Castaway Cay for the Dream and Fantasy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There was a big deal for the Dream, too. That was the first question was, hey, guys, how are they going to handle this?
Second question was, oh, shit, we got to dredge out the pier.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how the Wish is going to handle this because it was crowded on the Magic. And that was the other thing I was trying to explain to Meg because she was, as I said, concerned about stuff selling out. And I'm like, well, one, they have a shorter booking window. Two, they're on the Magic. That's a completely different sailing experience.
That is a huge. The competitiveness increases exponentially.
The Magic has much smaller spaces.
Yeah, that's funny. You would think the opposite of, oh, come on, but it's smaller. It's got to be easier. No, they can only hold so many. It's not built for a big size. You cut the numbers in half.
You can't have as many. You also can't have as many concurrent events.
Correct.
But I will say, the mixology we did on the Dream was one of the best things ever. So
that's good.
Or did we sail on the Fantasy? I don't remember which one we were on. Probably the Dream.
I will do a Disney cruise one day.
If I do one, it would be me, myself, and I. It would be a one-man show unless I go with like a group of travel agents, or if you and I want to do one, Bruce.
You need to go with at least one other person. Otherwise, you're paying for two people anyway.
I know. Liz doesn't do ships. She feels like she would be solitary confined in the body of water, and just the open sea kind of like freaks her out a little bit, which I
can understand that.
I get that.
I understand it. I thought I'd be that way. No. In fact, I'm the type of person that I don't want to do the ports. Just put me on the ship. The ship is enough fun. The thought of doing a Panama Canal cruising or a transatlantic, I am all on board with. 2-week cruise, no ports, yes, please.
Well, and she's never been on a ship, and she gets car sick alone if she's not driving. So I don't know how she would feel.
I will say this: I've only been on one cruise. First cruise ever was Norwegian.
Mm-hmm.
It's me, my father, and my sister walking up the stairs. My mom's in the room. We go to step, and the step's not there anymore. And he just goes, "Your mother?" Not happy. My mom was sick as sick gets. She was hugging the porcelain all night. So she was finally okay to get out of that room.
So a lot of this depends on the ship and where you're sailing from.
Sailing, true.
Where did your cruise leave from, Bruce?
Here, New York.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
If you board a ship down in Florida or the Caribbean and stay in the Caribbean, that water's smooth as shit.
I figured as much. The Gulf is calmer waters.
Like, I never have really felt sick on a Disney ship. I felt a little woozy one day because they're also much bigger ship. They're big ships. The bigger the ship, the less it's rocking. Now, when we did the small ship in Alaska, there was one day that you just saw room service walking down with an entire cart just full of ginger ale and crackers, stopping at just about every room, giving them in to people who missed dinner.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, my one experience cruising was not good. Norwegian was way overrated. It was terrible. The food was we were at Kutztown at the time, and I thought the food at Kutztown was almost better at times. Like, it was garbage.
Oh my God.
It was all Asian oriented. Here's all I need to be sum up of my first night on the boat. Okay, whatever. We all ordered whatever dinner it was. I opened the bowl, right back down. My dad goes, "Please don't tell me you're serious." I'm like, "Dad, there's tentacles right on the top." Listen, we had fun. It was a family vacation. We had a good time, but it soured. None of us thought it really was worth it. So none of us went on a cruise again. I'm open. I would like to try a Disney cruise because I think the experience would be different.
And the Disney rotational dining helps a lot. Also, it's made for families. Menus aren't that adventurous, though most of them still will stuff in the cruise standards. You'll still find beef Wellington, baked Alaska.
Mm-hmm. And this was whatever the special was some chicken dish, and I just was like, there's tentacles right on top. I'm like, this could be the tentacle cruise.
I've had escargot on a ship. That was delicious. Just tastes like butter.
Nice. It is. When you cook enough butter, snails taste like nothing.
And it just goes right down too.
Yep.
It's like a slug.
Oysters, baby. They're like oysters.
But I've enjoyed the cruises I've been on. I'm not sure Disney's food will hold up this time because I've heard it's been a little hit or miss. We'll see. I'm nervous about the Marvel restaurant and its overstimulating effects.
You know, you can only try.
Well, I'll say this much. Hopefully your food's not contaminated like the food that we find in the show The Last of Us. Oh my God. That show.
I can't tell you how happy I am it's the hit it is, because this video game has meant so much to me for a decade of my life.
This show alone. Now, guys, I've told you guys my relationship with the game and how frustrating it is. Watching the first episode, I'm like, oh, this is where I'm at in the video game. And then how the show continues on, I'm like, oh my God, I want to play the game again. Like I want to play the game. Like, and now I really want to focus on actually playing the game. Oh my God, is this show like? I texted my best friend. I was like, dude, have you guys? Because him and I, like, we talked Walking Dead like that. Like him and I, like, since day one, Walking Dead was our jam. Like we would have Sunday rituals where he would either come over to our house or I'd go over to his house and we would watch Walking Dead together. And we would just watch the episode and then sometimes watch Talking Dead. But then we would kind of like talk about the show and our thoughts of like what we like watched for that episode. So it was kind of like our ritual. So watching The Last of Us, finally, I texted him, I was like, dude, have you, because they have HBO, I was like, have you guys watched Last of Us? I was like, way better than Walking Dead. I mean, and he texted me,
different though.
Well, it's, and I told him, I said, it's different, but I said, you want to talk about a zombie, like, because he likes the zombie apocalypse style, like, drama shows. Like, he, like,
The Walking Dead is a damn masterpiece of a story.
Well, I never watched I stopped watching after Rick left the show. So,
I'm sorry, The Last of Us.
Yeah. So, but
The Last
like,
of Us is a masterpiece of a story.
Yes, it is. And the game too. I mean, the story of the game is a masterpiece.
I mean, the story of the game.
Oh,
the Last of Us story of the game is how could they get better? Oh, Last of Us Part 2.
And then how can they top that? Let's just do a TV series. But like, so when he texts me back, he goes, no, we haven't watched it yet, but I heard they also came out with a game. I said, no. I said, dude, I said, you got that all wrong. I said, the show is based off of the game. I said, it's not just one game. They made 2 games before the show even came out. I said that the story is that good with the material that they can make a TV series off of 2 video games instead of a comic book franchise. I'm like, this show is nuts. Absolutely nuts.
It is, and even with changes to the story, it worked just fine. But the core of this, it's so much more than I think people.
Episode 3.
Oh my! And that's such a deviation.
Such
a deviation from the game, but man, it still got the tragedy of this world correct.
Oh my God. You want to talk about a standalone episode that's up there in HBO material like the Red Wedding from Game of Thrones. Oh my God. In one episode.
Nick effing Offerman, give him and Bella Ramsey all the awards.
Right? I mean, that episode, that single episode alone deserves a special Emmy award. Like an Emmy nomination for standalone episodes in a TV series. Like...
And the difference between Brian and Dozer here, I've played The Last of Us now about 6 times on my PS5 alone. That's the PS5 remaster that came out in September. I played The Last of Us could be near 50 times. I played this game a lot.
I mean,
well versed in The Last of Us. I know what's still coming, and they don't.
And
believe me,
and
we ain't seen nothing yet.
And when I was telling you guys in the group chat earlier, I was like, from a marketing standpoint, me watching this show for people that because the show stands on its own, like that, like I'm so happy with this show because for someone who started for someone who started playing the game and then stopped because I got frustrated and decided, you know what, I'm just gonna watch this show so I know, like, if for someone who's never even played the game before and they start watching this show may actually want someone to say, you know what, let me go out and buy that game now.
Hell yeah.
Like this show alone is just a standalone marketing. I mean, and not saying I'm sure The Walking Dead had the same type of spikes.
Oh, it did. 110%.
Yeah, as soon as the show, I mean, the value of the comic books went up as soon as the show was a success. So, you know, I'm not comparing apples to apples here. It's the same situation, just different format. One's a video game sales, one's a book sales. So it's different format of sales. But it's interesting to see in a show of how well it's written for people to actually now go out and say, you know, let me go out and buy a PlayStation. Let me go out and buy The Last of Us. Let me
give 30, nothing. Last of Us shorter, probably like 20 hours of my life.
Yeah.
30 is more the sequel.
I mean, like, it's about and even the sub stories. Like, yes, it's about Joel with the girl and the situation that they have. But then there's all these other sub stories with, like,
everybody you meet has their own story, and none of them are happy.
But like, I know, and it's like, but the whole thing with the Fireflies and how it's a corrupt government in the situation of a zombie apocalypse, and just how like it's just even the way how the show started with the 1968 scene with the actor who was in The Mummy, the Jonathan, I forget that actor's name, the guy that plays the doctor, and talking, and that whole conversation between, you know, if these two doctors, one fears a viral bacterial infection and the other one's like, no, actually it's fungus. He's like, think of it this way. What if we're in a world where our world is a few degrees warmer? You know, like, fungus could live in its, and I'm thinking to myself, like, it's 60
not live, thrive.
Thrive, right. And it's like, it's 60 degrees outside in February. Like, we are kind of in a global war. It's just, there's certain things in this show that are like today's topics and conversation.
Yeah. And they were even back when, and that's what I love about it is that when they said they're changing, Bill and Frank were a big deviation from what happens in the game with their story in episode 3.
Gotcha.
What happens in the game. Very big. But even though they added, they said everything, they were adding so much to the story, people went, oh, they're adding backstory that just works so flawlessly. Episode 1, the start of episode 2 works so perfectly. They just know what they're doing. That's why they say there might be an idea for part 3. Please give me more.
Oh, I mean, like a video game. Part 3.
And who knows? Maybe they say, you know what? It won't work on a video game, but we have an idea for a season 3, which probably shouldn't happen.
So, what I'm going to say here is I have a very particular reason why I think this show works so well. So, I'm just going to compare the other big franchises here. Walking Dead.
Mm-hmm.
Comic books are too much story. You have to take stuff away.
Exactly.
Game of Thrones. Too much story. That guy just writes for fucking ever.
Yeah.
And then it felt bad when you got to the end where he hadn't written. And even though, say what you will, whatever you want, he hadn't written it yet. Therefore, even if they got the ending spot on to what he was going to do, the middle, like that spot in the middle, they're not the details he would have put in there to make it what
that
it
were
needed
necessary.
To be.
Well, let me ask you this: how many episodes are there for Last of Us? Did they say is it a 10 episodes? 9. So, all right, so it's like a typical like Game of Thrones. Like,
we have an episode title for every episode, but episode 9.
And so, and then you look at Resident Evil.
Mm-hmm.
It's a
that convoluted mess of a franchise on film and TV.
The problem with that is while they're horror games and they have a story, they're a game first.
Mm-hmm.
The Last of Us is a game, yes, but it's a story you play.
Right.
You play.
And
There's a lot added on to the story moments, but it all follows through. It's all part of surviving in this world.
Mm-hmm.
And because it is built this way, and you have game makers who are more focused on telling a story than giving you a great game.
Yeah.
They gave us a great game. I'm not saying that. I see your face. They
That's
are more.
not it. That's not it. It's because I'm extrapolating in my head. I'm like, we don't even know. You don't even know. Oh my gosh, season 2.
So,
you don't even fucking know.
They
Oh boy. Not okay.
they are more willing to work with the TV show to add in the parts that were missing, the
Right.
backstory, instead of a
There's
showrunner
parts of the
coming
games
up
that
with
were
it.
cut. There were a lot of things in the game that were cut. Like I mentioned Last of Us Part 2. There are huge amounts of that game that were cut because they wanted to do things with that couldn't make sense. That could make sense that you could a game what's told in 10 hours is a 40-minute TV show.
Right.
And you compare this to the Halo show, where they're telling a great story, they're hitting the universe pretty damn well, but it's missing the mark for a lot of people because it's not like the games, because to tell a story in the way those games are formatted, it can't be that. The Last of Us is like this perfect amalgamation of what each one is missing.
It is a story-driven event. That's what when it came out. When The Last of Us came, I actually was a day one player of The Last of Us, but I'm not trying to brag, but I was. I had this game pre-ordered. I saw the previews. I said, "There's something about the Naughty Dog has a new IP with Drake's Thief's End, with Drake's story and Uncharted starting to come to an end." Knowing that was coming, I said, "This has to be something good. I got to play it day one." When the word of this game got out, it literally was we pre-ordered. I guess the sales are good. People are excited. Let's see. It was a overnight. The reviews were 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. If you haven't bought this game yet, get out before it's sold out. They were pushing like, you need to play this. This is not just another game coming out.
Yeah.
This is special. It was like people who didn't get to the big story moments. It was villainy. We talk about Marvel movies here with Disney about people with Endgame. People were getting into honest to God death threat fights on the internet how I spent 20 hours in this. How dare you ruin that for me?
Yeah.
So my big question, because I don't know, what is the earliest system they've released it for?
PlayStation 3?
3.
That's what I think it was PlayStation 3.
It was 100% of PlayStation 3.
Yeah.
When they released it, it was literally end cycle PS3. PS4 was coming out soon.
Because I remember like PS4 was for the holiday season for the PS4 bundle packages. I remember it came with a copy of The Last of Us because that was the #1 seller for PS3. So when PS4 launched
they remastered for PS4 and then remade for PS5.
Yeah, because that was a big bundle. Was the Last of Us bundle for the holiday season?
It was lightning. A game of the year. BioShock Infinite was the de facto. People like, come on, this is going to win game. We all know, and it was. It was a fantastic game. Like, unfortunately, one of the best games I've ever played. And I'm a gamer, longtime gamer. One of the best games out of the day I've ever played in my life is The Last of Us.
And
from the moment it gripped that opening, that first episode of the TV series is the opening of that game. For the most part, a little extra. That opening, when that scene happens, I was almost in tears at my parents' house, just like, oh my.
You're talking about the opening before the credits start rolling with like the SWAT, like the army guard pointing the gun.
Sir, there's civilians.
There's like we're not infected. That scene you're talking about. That scene.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Nobody knew. Nobody talked about it. The reviewers were skimming it. Nobody knew.
I remember
day one I played that scene. It was just The gun went off. You didn't see there was nothing to show with the body on the ground. There was no long. It was blackout.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then you see Joel again.
Yeah, without her. I know. Oh, I know.
That's the nice part of the game. That's the fun part. That's the non-heartbreaking section of the game.
It just goes downhill from there. I mean, you want to talk about...
And believe me, you think, oh, one game could do that, another one couldn't. Druckmann and company cracked their fingers and said, part 2 is going to destroy you, son of a bitch.
It's like, what's that saying? Oh, that's cute. Hey, but do me a favor, hold my beer.
Yeah, hold my beer. See that hurt in your chest? Yeah, that's mine, baby.
Well, I just watched
heartbreak.
Jimmy Kimmel just had Nick Offerman on to promote the for last week for episode 3. And he was talking about, like, they showed clips of basic white bitches crying after watching episode 3. The one TikTok video was fine. She's like, "What the hell kind of piece of shit is this? I was just gonna watch a show about zombies, and you gave me this. What the fuck?"
Yeah, they really, and again. That episode deviates so far from the game because those people who you hear crying about this, I'm going to tell you this: that's the happy version. They went with a happy version.
I know.
The story in the game is bleak and painstakingly awful.
Because you don't need to give people in a game happiness.
Yeah,
you don't. That's why I'm curious. Tomorrow, and folks, if you're watching this, The Last of Us, you're expecting to watch on Sunday, as some people may not know, the Kansas City Chiefs and Philadelphia Eagles are playing the Super Bowl on Sunday. So HBO, this is how big of a hit it is. HBO says, fine, The Last of Us airs on Friday. It's that big of a hit. They said, we don't want Super Bowl. We don't want to even play with Super Bowl Sunday. We got people are going to be at parties. We got you. Tomorrow, Last of Us comes out.
Because they want the people to talk about the episode before the game starts on Sunday.
Do. And trust me, if they do what I think they're about to do, you're going to have talking to do with each other.
Yeah, Lord of the Flies, my God. A little bit of a tease.
If they do this like they do in the game, these are called tissues. Make sure they're with you.
I'm just going to say this. There's another smart thing about this. As shows are no longer having these 20-season runs, you have a show that is not going to have 15 seasons.
Now,
this is a show you will have a absolute maximum of 3 seasons.
Yeah.
And that's playing around with game 2. Game 1, this season is all of game 1. So if you maybe you have a PS5 and played the first one, but not part 2, you have played what will happen this season. There are changes, they're making additions, whatever, but they said all the big story beats are there. That's all you need to know if you know these games.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about because I know the name of episode 9 in my head. And trust me, there's a reason it's TBA.
And just to clarify to everyone else out there, I've never played the games. I don't play horror games.
Well, like I said, I'll tell you this much. I kind of want to play this game now because some of these scenes that I watched up until like this episode, I'm like, oh, this level looks like this would be fun. Oh, this like
Bill's Town is absolute. That's where you think the game just doesn't stop. Just when you think the game is getting going, you're like, after the museum, they can't possibly keep this going.
Well, just I mean, I know like they're in Kansas City in the show, but I think in the game, that's what I was watching behind the scenes.
This right now, it takes place, and it makes sense as they're going across the country. Pittsburgh would be so quick. You'd have it makes sense.
But they need to extend. They need to tell
because the location doesn't matter.
Right.
They have a leader, which doesn't. The hunters exist in the game,
right,
but they don't have a leader like they do here. That's what I like. They changed it, but it's all working for the better of telling a story for a TV show.
I'll just say this much though: for the episodes that I had, like up until now, I want this to be an HHN attraction. For the love of God, I need it to be an entire scare zone and house.
And you haven't even seen the worst one. You saw him in a preview, but you haven't seen the worst big boy in action.
Oh. Yeah, I can't wait.
The big boys are only topped by a particular boss battle on Last of Us Part 2. If you know, you know.
Now I just want this is just making me want 2 other games as shows or movies.
Which games?
I want Fallout.
It's coming to Amazon.
Oh, okay. Depends what they adapt if I'll like it.
Trust me, it sounds like it's going to be a hit and a half.
And because I need something fucking lighter, give me a Dead Rising show.
There was a movie, actually.
Oh.
There was a movie.
Must not have been that good.
Honestly, it was on Crackle. I had to sign up for Crackle to watch this. It's a Crackle exclusive. Pretty sure it was Crackle. It's not bad, but it's just kind of it's just generic zombie. Listening a little bit of that Dead Rising flair. There were rumors of a sequel because I think a Dead Rising movie, if done properly, is just bananas, and it would be fantastic and a half.
I don't know. I'll tell you what. I think the next game movie should be that Super Mario Brothers film with Pedro Pascal. My God, that
Mario Kart film.
The Mario Kart film. You're right. To be different here because the other film is called the Super Mario Brothers movie. So yeah, the Mario,
which is featuring Mario Kart.
Right. But no, the SNL skit of Pedro Pascal as Mario.
Fantastic.
I want that to happen so bad.
I'd like to feel big.
Well, just the whole ensemble of who else they casted to be in that. Like, Kenan Thompson was Bowser, but like, who did they like? I mean, they use other SNL characters, but like,
yeah.
Oh God, I was just.
I think I love that skit. I thought that was fantastic.
Actually,
I'm in the minority. I could not be more excited for the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Yeah,
I am so glad my niece and nephew will be coming up for Easter that weekend because they have to see this movie. I just feel it's something they need to watch, and I need an excuse to go, so I'm not the creepy single guy sitting in the room.
I know this film looks so. I'll just wait till it comes on Peacock to watch it, but yeah, I might. I don't know. I might go see it in theaters.
I cannot wait for Scream. I have to see Scream in theaters. No one can spoil that for me. I need to see firsthand. And Super Mario, I can't.
Is Scream going to be coming out on Peacock? Are they doing another? No. They're not doing a Halloween.
No. Same day shit is gone.
Same day shit's gone. That was a specific contract with Blumhouse and Halloween. Okay. No, Scream is in theaters only on March 10th.
Okay.
It's gone in general. You're not going to see much of that anymore anywhere because
they got rid of that's the only shot movie theaters have is to not do that.
Yeah.
And no, this is I'm just saying before rumors and spoilers hit the internet, I need to know myself firsthand.
Yeah, that's smart.
I don't care.
But I just some of those shots and scenes in Last of Us, I'm like, yep, the quarantine zones, like all that, or just like, I mean, just alone, like, okay, here's an example. Can you imagine walking around a scare zone and people coming up to ask if you're or just walking through a house or like, are you infected? Like, are you infected? Like trying to like tase you, or like there's a scene where it acts like they're like testing people if they're infected, and like that one person lights up red, and everyone else turns green, like, you know. And they
did this.
What?
The Alien Scare Zone from the 30th anniversary of the Alien Scare Zone.
When did that come out?
The 30th
anniversary.
I know. Like, which HHN was that?
HHN 30.
Oh my God! So it was okay, so it wasn't last year. 2 years ago. Okay.
They had the scare zone in the big section in Buppa, New York. That's what it was this alien race was there, and they were looking for humans. They were looking out for people. I was like, it's different, but it's the same thing. Frankly, it works there. It's easy. It's the Purge. It's Zombieland. It's all the same. That scare zone works in every. I've never seen one there. I shouldn't say that. I have some that were a little bit of misses, but they all work the same. just has to be people running amok. That's
but
all.
The house. Can you imagine the house and like the clickers just like jump out as like scare actors? Like,
and that was the house that was going to have a break in the middle. That was supposed to be where Blumhouse was.
Oh, I can just the costumes of the act. I want to be if there was a year that I want to audition to be Halloween Horror Nights and they do Last of Us, I want to be a clicker. I want to be one of those clickers, just like, like just like just wearing that. Yeah. Like the grandmother or the neighbor next. Oh my God. That's typical horror. Like the old lady in the wheelchair.
You haven't even seen all the infected in the show or in the game.
Yeah.
So, spoiler alert, they're not the only ones to worry about.
Oh, and Tess's proper goodbye. Oh, that was such a badass.
I knew it was going to hurt.
Oh,
that one I knew was coming, just like the game. I'm like, here we go. Again, I played this when no one else had, no one to warn you. And just the scene happens and you're just like, I bought you.
That's
why are you hurting me?
That's why I love the game.
I paid money for you.
See that, like we said just now with the opening scene, like that. I remember playing that game like recently, and I'm like, wait, what? Like, because the first level you play is her moving around the bedroom, trying to explore. So you're like, okay, you're this girl. And then all of a sudden, the outbreak and everything's going on muck. And next thing you know, that you're the character Joel carrying her, running away from zombies in this crowd, dodging people like, and then the scene in the car scene, like
I remember the airplane with Tommy.
Well, it just like, I mean, it was a shot for shot homage to the video game and the show because it's like the family. Wait, stop. Wait,
most of the big cinema scenes, most of the big scenes in the show are all shot for shot cinema scenes from the game.
That's awesome.
Because it worked once, why not make it work again?
There's no reason. This week with that Joel and Ellie was just like showing the bonding finally of Joel and Ellie when they were in the car together and she's holding up the Gentleman's Magazine because it's Bill and Frank's car.
Why are these pages stuck together?
Yeah. Shot for shot. She did it. I was like, Bella Ramsey, give her all the award.
She's
not doing a carbon copy of Ellie, but she's doing her own Ellie, and this is the one. This is Ellie this is the perfect version of her. Now Bella Ramsey's timing is impeccable.
I missed the cameo. Where's the guy that played Joel? Which episode was he in? There was
I didn't see Troy Baker yet.
Okay, because he's in the casting list.
No, Troy Baker, I have not seen him yet, and I know what Troy Baker looks like. Okay. Again, I can only imagine after, I know you guys, this is a bit of a spoiler, but Uncharted, Nolan North is in the game. He's the voice of Nathan Drake, and he's in the movie. They end up on the beach. What's his face? Spider-Man, Tom Holland,
yeah.
And they end up on the beach and they run into Nolan North and he goes, "What happened? Oh, we fell out of an airplane. Oh, yeah. I fell out of the car in an airplane. Huh? I've been there."
Yeah, because like on the IMDb page, it has like
Troy Baker. They're all there was one actor we did see. He played one of the characters. I think he might have been the voice actor for Henry we did see. I think it was Henry, but that could be wrong on that. But we've seen one already. But most of the big voice actors, Tess played herself. Troy Baker is in the game, but I think he's in an episode coming up.
Well, not even Tess, but Joel's sister-in-law played herself in the game too. That's the same. That's the same actors too. Because some of these, I'm like, every person in this show is doing a fantastic job with their role, even if they're like one or two, like a 1 episode, 2 episode, episodes. Every actor and actress, everyone is just fantastic.
They're all.
I mean,
this was show where they knew was going to be lightning in the bottle from day one when they announced this project. They knew this was a hit.
I mean, even the guy that played Frank. Like, he was on The White Lotus. He's a fantastic actor. Ironically, he's playing this, another gay. He's probably gay in real life.
I believe he is. That episode was something else.
Oh my
Gil
God.
and Frank, the way giving these two characters a happy ending warms my heart. I don't want them to do this every time. I don't need everybody to have a happy ending now, but giving Bill and Frank a happy ending because the ending in the game is so upsettingly sad.
Yeah. I don't know if I want to get to that part in the game then if it's extremely sad.
Oh, you'll see. Trust
what
me.
makes you think that this game is going to have a happy moment?
Dozer,
I know
it has some lighter moments, but Dozer, here's the problem. I did this before we had a TV show. Brian has seen that episode already. So this is it's just gonna drive it into your heart and twisting up their brain.
So I'm because I didn't I mean, like, it was a rough episode to watch. I didn't cry during the episode, but it was definitely a hard
It's going to make the game so devastating for you. You're gonna wish you cried during the episode because those would have been happy tears.
God.
Now that episode, trust me, the app makes the episode look happy. That's the happy. Remember, as I said, this is the happy ending for them. This is the happy version.
Oh, I don't know.
This was the good one.
Oh God, now that scares me. I don't know if I want to play the game.
Oh, trust me, you want to play it
because I'm enjoying watching this show. I'm like,
I know you are, but you want to play it because it's not that the show's not going to be impactful when we get to the end of the season, but when you've played 20 hours of a game and you get to that, and I'm telling you, the gut punch moment, it just rips your heart in frickin' two.
Speaking of gameplay, I don't know about you guys, but I've been seeing some footage of this Hogwarts Legacy game, and oh my God,
the reviews are off the charts. The reviews are all.
I've been watching like gameplay of people that bought it from like day one. So it's like these videos on YouTube are like 18 hours long. I'm like, I don't have 18 hours of my life to sit down and watch the entire gameplay.
No, they bought it from pre-release. Release hasn't happened yet.
Okay.
This is pre-release on Tuesday. Some people got to play it the 7th. The others, it comes out tomorrow.
Regardless, though, I'm just there are scenes in this game that I'm just watching and I'm just my mouth just drops and I'm frozen. I'm like,
and it actually is fun to play. That's my understanding. I don't have it. I will get it one day. Obviously, I'm a gamer. I'll get it one day, but they say it's just fun to play. They say it looks gorgeous. It's fun to play. It's a winner. There's so much side stuff that you want to do.
Yeah. Is it almost too much is the question. Is it almost like
a little much? They said it's a little overwhelming, but they said they were finding, in a good way for the most part, finding themselves wanting to do the side missions before going on to the next main mission, which is something I do with most games anyway. That's the way they're meant to be played.
Because I'll tell you, it's because if these reviews keep coming in with just one after the other of just like highly rated, most likely game of the year, like the next big thing. This game might actually.
It's not even close to game of the year.
I'm not saying game of the year.
Relax.
I'm not saying game of the year, but something as big as like game of the year, like the talk of the town, the concept, the story, the immersiveness, the open world. I could see this actually be the next game to clear the path to future franchising games. Like, I don't know, the next type of Grand Theft Auto or the next Red Dead Redemption.
That doesn't. I wouldn't even say that because they're already working on the next Grand Theft Auto. It's not that it's leading the way because those are franchises that are just going to happen. It could open the way for more IP franchises to get better treatments.
Okay,
because this is not the first Harry Potter video game.
No, but I'm
just good one.
I'm just thinking of like that open world concept, like Jedi Survivor is right around the corner, and people.
Quotes open world. It's not full. It's not an open world.
Okay.
It's a open world, but it's very limited. It's not open world. Open world means that you have to specify now. A lot of games will try to say they're open world. No. Open world means I can run into a boss way too far from me, and I can run into the final boss right now. That's open world.
So like MMO would be like considered like a true open world concept, like one of those online. Okay,
correct. Open world means truly. Console games specifically means open world. This is open world, but it's still got some linear.
Because you still have a map. Like you can only go so far, so it's not a true technical open world.
Even open worlds, even with a map, there's ones who have a map and you discover it. Go Breath of the Wild, any of those adventure games like that. Discover the world, have fun.
It's the best way I could put it is using your description is even the grandfather of open world games is an open world. Because Grand Theft Auto is widely seen as the open world game, but it's not. You still have to follow the linear story.
Right.
Fallout still existed, but let's not go there. Even though, yes, I know Grand Theft Auto is a lot older than people like to realize.
I'm saying that because, not always is the true innovator realized as...
It's true. Oh, no, it's true. Grand Theft Auto certainly opened up the entire world to it.
Right.
Bada boom. But, hey, what can I say? I'm the guy who watches Grand Theft Auto 5 speed runs.
Because that last what franchise is it that's coming? I was like, man, that game looks fantastic too.
Well, I'm still like, looking to that whole talk of this. I think it's called Star Wars Eclipse. They just gave us that like cinematic trailer, feels like 10 years ago, about this upcoming quote unquote open world Star Wars game.
Are you sure that's not the next one coming out?
The Star Wars Eclipse?
That could be this. This is an open world game. They had the last one that came out. This is kind of a sequel to that, but it's very much open world.
Because you have Jedi Survivor, which Jedi Fallen Order was...
Survivor, that's the one that's coming out. That's supposed to be very open world.
Yeah. But like the Star Wars Eclipse is like a whole new story, kind of like their reboot of Knights of the Old Republic, but not actually rebooting Knights of the Old, because it takes place in the High Republic.
There's a very good chance that Star Wars project has been canceled at this point.
Well, it's interesting you should say that, because the recent news, there's been heavy leaks online about this potential Mandalorian style open world concept game.
I'd be okay with that.
Which I would be okay. I'm like, look, if you give me a Grand Theft Auto in the world of Star Wars and it happens to be the Mandalorian, sign me the hell up.
As long as it's not a Souls-like. No Souls-like. They already did that.
What's that?
Like Dark Souls and...
Oh, okay. I gotcha. No, I want it to be like something simple as like Grand Theft Auto, but you're just, the Mandalorian. So you go around and you collect bounties, that's like the main storyline. Like you're dealing with gangs. Like, I mean, you mean
Hitman or Yakuza?
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like you could seriously have that concept where you have this rogue bounty hunter and it's a bunch of gang wars going around, and you could, hijack speeder bikes and go on these, you can go off the beaten path and do sub stories or go across.
The problem with any open world game in space is it becomes too spread out.
I
don't know. Lego Star Wars seemed like it was fun.
Yes, no, Dozer's 100% right. Hold on. You open the door. This is coming. Buckle up. You open the door for me to do this. All right.
Oh, God.
No Man's Sky. That's what you turn into. A worthless dreck of a game with a whole lot of nothing. And basically, when you beat it, it's like, congratulations. Do it all over again. Nothing changed. You did nothing. No Man's Sky is better now, but Dozer's 100% correct there. A lot of space games, unless you're a Star Fox where you pick a level and go there, which is the last one, what's it, Fallen Order? Whatever the last one before the one coming out now is. It was good, but it was a Souls-like. It was a higher difficulty, but very linear level like that.
Oh, you're talking about Star Wars. Jedi Fallen Order, yeah.
Yeah, it was a great game. It really was. But it was more along the lines of that. And I think this should be different than that at this point. That they've done that. And like I said, Survivor looks fantastic. Don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And if we're talking the game we don't want a Mandalorian game. We want a Boba Fett game.
A good one too, because they did do Bounty Hunter.
Yes, but we want the Boba Fett from the Book of Boba Fett. We want to be the mob boss.
They have a Bounty Hunter series coming with him in it. That could be a tie-in game easily right there.
Yeah, the mob boss. He doesn't leave his planet.
You're his newest grunt. You're his newest consigliere.
Yeah.
Robert Duvall.
Ooh. Wait, so you're saying that you're actually working for Boba Fett? You're not actually playing as... Oh, yeah. Like, so that's where you create your own character.
He's your hub. He's your hub. You're a face. It always works best for you to be for something like game like that. If you want to have them create everything, I'm a faceless character, and just here you are. Hey, recruit, come over. You're gonna learn the ropes this way.
You can. Yeah, this is where you create your own Star Wars story as a bounty hunter.
He can fight. He can appear out there with you. He can fight. He can do. I'm coming. Ooh. Hey, tell you what, I'm coming on this one with you.
Go old school. So, do you guys remember the PC game Jedi Academy?
Certainly.
Do you remember how you get to pick different alien species as your character?
Mm-hmm.
Why not bring that back for this bounty hunter?
That's
what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Not just anything. Look, I'm a big fan of let them create. If they want to create, if you're like me, you want to create a monster, create a monster. If you want to make a character that looks just like you, give them the opportunity to do that. I know those resources are hard, but it's worth it for a game like that. And people love that.
Like have a section of just like human customization, and then just
fully. You can here's a base. If you want to have a base of one of these, go off of it, go from there. Right. But you can do carte blanche, make whatever character you want. With streamers and everything, people go nuts for that stuff.
And what you do is you take this, and we'll say you have 5 base races. But what you really have there with the base races is 5 different difficulty settings.
Mm-hmm.
You could do that.
So like, and I forget all their names. The green guys Jabba had that Boba had.
Greedo.
Their game, playing as one of them, the game could start out very easy because they're stronger, but they don't level up as much.
Right.
They kind of top out and they struggle on the harder missions later.
Could do that. That would be fun.
You choose a human, you're the normal difficulty.
Yeah.
The bonus mode is when you can play as one of the Council of the Hutts.
Or a Mandalorian. Mandalorian could be one of like an expert.
Extra. Yeah. Expert mode, Mando.
Because you can just customize your Mandalorian armor then. It's just generic, race.
Mandalorian is you're human and you become. You earn your way in or whatever.
Whatever story you want to throw to this.
You could have fun with it. You choose how force sensitive your character is.
Oh, it'd still be set up like an RPG game with dexterity, wisdom, intelligence. Still have all those components.
Oh, I just love the idea of playing through an RPG game like this where you can't really do any negotiating or anything. You're a barbarian. All you can do is fight.
But you can improve on, dual action, like both using hands versus single. Heavy artillery versus small, get different armors. But then you get into like the nitty-gritty stuff of actually earning credits and actually doing.
Yeah, but see, now we are very quickly entering into a Peter Molyneux game, and that'll just never come out. So
yeah,
because at this point we're now looking at if you play the game as a barbarian, the people will fear you. If you play it as this person, they're going to
actually we're not as far as you might think. Starfield for Bethesda's big game, which is like a actual No Man's Sky, what they're promising No Man's Sky to be. Starfield's coming out this year, most likely. We're assuming this November. Starfields could be doing all that. There's a chance. I don't know. The game's not out yet, but Starfield could be doing everything. This game is a massive. This was before Elder Scrolls. And the next Fallout, which are all in the pipeline. This game is huge.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Red Dead Redemption 2. You will be playing forever and accomplishing nothing. Good luck.
I'm just gonna.
I loved Red Dead so much. Make the first one into a movie. Thank you.
I was just gonna say, if there was if HBO wanted to jump on the let's make a gaming TV series as our next big thing, I would say let's have them look at Red Dead as a possible TV.
Yeah, that's Rockstar. You would either have to do Red Dead or
theoretically,
you could do Red Dead, Grand Theft Auto Bully. You could actually most Rockstar things have enough story there because there's so much fluff.
I don't think Grand Theft Auto would make a good movie.
I'm not saying it would make a good movie, but you could make it into something.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking to compete against Paramount. I think if HBO wanted to do Red Dead Redemption, it would be a nice way to compete against Yellowstone. Just saying. For programming television, if you wanted to compare it, like if you wanted to get on the Western bandwagon and have a good immersive storytelling, I think Red Dead Redemption has something there. They can even do an origin story that ties into Red Dead Redemption 2 with the reasoning behind why they were like what happened in Blackwater and leading up to the events of Blackwater.
You even have a holiday special for Undead Redemption.
The zombies.
Fantastic.
I mean, and if you want to get the fans really going, you know, they can even have the zombies in Red Dead actually be the origin to this outbreak that takes place in 2023. It's not the first time our country felt a pandemic. They could do some sort of zombie tie-in. This whole Last of Us was not the first. I mean, the music sounds pretty the same. Let's be honest here. Gustavo's like the composer.
Yeah.
But I mean, there are elements there that when they made this video game, they clearly did this come out before Red Dead Redemption, or this came out. This came. That's what I thought. This came out
because Red Dead Revolver is old as shit.
Well, I'm talking about Red Dead Redemption 2.
No, Last of Us before Red Dead 2.
Okay, because the music sounds eerily similar. That's why.
No. They might have had the same person, but like, no, this is Naughty Dog versus Rockstar. No. Last of Us was first. Last of Us came out in 2012, I believe.
I mean, I know the stories are completely different. I just, for the music standpoint, though, it has that Western style, like.
Last of Us doesn't necessarily have a Western. It just has a very melancholy.
Yeah.
It's a very mood setting. They want it all to be very impactful, the knowing that this is not even moments of levity. This is not a happy story.
Right.
You know what else is not a happy story? The fact that we're going to end this episode.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or I'm going to fall asleep on this episode. So, until next time, we're the idiots.
So you don't
have
to
be.